In the tapestry of time, every family has a story to tell, but memories captured in old photos can fade away, lost to the ravages of time. Don't let your cherished memories slip away. Digitizing your family photos is the first step to preserving your legacy. At Legacy Planning and Preservation, we specialize in preserving your family's history. Secure your memories for generations to come. Preserve the past, protect the future. Visit our website now and take the first step to preserving your family's legacy. Don't wait. The moments captured in those photos won't last forever.
One of the greatest empires in world history was the Mali Empire. The Mali Empire was one of the most prosperous and powerful empires in the antiquity of Africa. Its growth and expansion from the 13th century onwards was legendary and pivotal in the history and culture of Western Africa. The Mali Empire Volume 1 from author J.P. Martin, available on Amazon, is a book which provides the full historical record of the Mali Empire. From their control over the trans-Saharan trade routes and development of great cities such as Timbuktu, to their influential royal class who produced notable African kings such as Mansa Musa, Sundiata Keita, and Mansa Abubakar Keita II. The Mali Empire made a significant impression. This book is perfect for anyone interested in learning more about the history of Western Africa. Order your copy right now on Amazon. The Mali Empire, Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin. Go to Amazon.com and get your copy today.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I know it's been a minute since I've been live. I think the last time I went live was this past a week ago. So I apologize. I've been uploading content I've already shot. I'm still behind on uploading content from previous trips and tours to Africa that I still need to upload. So bear with me. But we are live today. We are live right now. So do me a favor, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Let me get the banner going. Bam, there goes the banner. Hit that like button. Hit that super chat. Hit that Cash App. We ain't proud. We ain't too proud to, well, we ain't begging, but you know what I mean. Hit it all. Hit it all. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Greatly appreciate it. Really love your guys' support. Thank you so much for the support. And I want to give a big thank you. Again, I want to give a big thank you. So our Senegal tour coming up May 12th to the 22nd, guys, is sold out. It's sold out. Hold on, let me turn off this background real quick. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Our Senegal tour, May 12th to the 22nd, is sold out. Thank you. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for the support. Again, thank you so much for the support. Next is Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. We're just explore. That's not supposed to be there. Hold on. Still, guys, I've been updating the website and I've noticed something that my let me take a picture of this and send this to my web guy because this shouldn't be here. Give me a second. That should not be there. Give me a second, guys. Because if I don't do it now, I'll probably forget. Again, if I don't tell him now, I'll forget this. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So we are rolling to Nigeria. Omo Niger, you guys. Omo Niger. We are rolling to Nigeria, August 4th through the 13th. August 4th through the 13th, we are rolling to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. Again, we are rolling to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival, August 4th through the 13th. We would love to have you all. Again, we would love to have you all come and join us in Nigeria for the Oshun Festival, August 4th through the 13th. Please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa. Please visit Danfo, DANFO .Africa to learn more. And we have Devin. You know what, Devin? I was going to bring that up, but I don't want to give it any energy. Devin, I was going to bring that up, but I don't want to give it any energy. And what happens? It's just everything works out in my favor. You know, I'm a firm believer in what I want to call it. It's just and karma. There we go. Everything works out in my favor because I do the right thing behind the scenes. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I make mistakes, but when I make a mistake, I correct it. If something's brought to my attention, you know, that needs to be corrected, I correct it. I'm accessible. You can reach out to me. I respond to my emails. You can call me. I'm accessible. So I do the right thing. I'm a man of honor and I'm righteous. I mean, I do the right thing. So, you know, when people throw stones at me, they just repel back. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, synagogue sold out. I'm not perfect, but I do the right thing. And I'm a man of honor. I will say that. If I make a mistake, when people bring it to my attention or they call me out, you know, they call my phone or email me and say, hey, Dynas, you did this, that, and other. Let's try to correct that. I listen and I correct it within reason. Within reason. So yeah, so a lot of that stuff, like I said, I just ignore and keep it pushing. That's all you can do. You know, it's it's part of it. It's whatever. But Nigeria, August 4th through the 13th. Nigeria, August 4th through the 13th for the Oshun Festival. Come and have a great time. Come and enjoy the Oshun Festival. Yeah, come have a great time in Nigeria. Don't believe the misinformation that you hear on Nigeria. Don't believe the misinformation that you hear about Nigeria. Nigeria is a beautiful country with the most friendliest people. Come and enjoy it. So again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. And if you have not bought the documentary, click on documentary right here on the site and go and purchase and support the #1 documentary when it deals with building, you know, the Africa diaspora connection. The #1 documentary. Make sure you go and visit donfo.africa, buy the documentary, come on one of the trips. I'm adding to the site, you know, because we're shifting we're shifting to more of a, travel brand. Again, we're shifting to being a travel brand. We're doing a tour still. That's the bread and butter. That's the root. But we want to be a resource and to stay and be more of a brand as well. So go to Donfo, visit donfo.africa. Without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Let me give this disclaimer. I have much respect for Dennis Spurling. This is not an attack, but this argument that Africa owes us reparations, and that was part of his show he did. He brought up how all parties involved owe us reparations. That's very complicated. Again, it's very complicated, but what we'll do today, we'll deal with the African side, and then also too, these civilized tribes who y'all claim you guys are one of them. These civilized tribes who a lot of you guys now are talking about, I'm a Native American, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Blackfoots, whatever, Seminole. They were heavily involved as well. So do you go after them too? When you say all parties involved? And to sum it up and to not overcomplicate it, I want to be very respectful because I know a lot of Black lawyers. Living in Atlanta, I know a lot of Black lawyers. My frat brothers are Black lawyers. I have a lot of frat brothers who are lawyers. And I've brought up the topic of reparations to them. And to be honest, 99.99% of lawyers, Black lawyers, when you bring up reparations, they're just not interested. When you bring up reparations, they're just not interested. They're more focused on what I call low-hanging fruit. What do I mean by low-hanging fruit? So when I did sales, if we got a call-in lead, if we got a referral, we will call that would be considered low-hanging fruit because we get a referral, we get a call-in lead. The chances of us closing that is more than us having to go into buildings and cold call or hop on the phone and cold call. Because usually when people give you a referral, hey, Dynas, I spoke with so-and-so. I told her all about you. She said, come meet her Tuesday at 3 p.m. She wants to learn more. She's ready to go. Or we get a call-in lead. Hey, yo, so I'm interested in the product. My neighbor next door, the business next door uses you guys. I want to learn more. The chances of us selling those type of customers increases 100-fold versus us having to pound the phones and cold call. So what's low-hanging fruit for lawyers? The lawyers I know, you get a car accident, you get rear-ended, pause. That's it. That's like you get rear-ended, the person that rear-ended you, pause. They're liable. So that's an easy settlement. And these lawyers getting like 20, 30% of that settlement. Benjamin Crump, you get shot by a police officer. That's an easy 30, 40%. Child support. Family court, divorces. This is all low-hanging fruit. And I get it. They have their law school tuition that I got to pay or loans that I have to pay off. I get it. So it's easy money. I'm not mad. So do Black lawyers have the capacity and the patience and the resources and the time to tackle something as complicated as reparations, especially when you're claiming you want to go after African nations, in which these nations didn't exist during slavery? So how would that look like? Again, these nations did not exist during slavery. So how does that work out? So what do you do? How do you sue them? They're gonna laugh you out of court. They're not gonna take you serious. And what really bothers me is when this argument comes up for reparations from Africa, it's like you don't have the same energy that you have towards Africa. You don't have the same energy. Like you're mad at Africa, you want to sue Africa. But the people who enslaved you, you don't have that same energy for them. Again, you have this energy for Africa, but you don't have the same energy for the people who enslaved you here in America. Somebody say you blanket sue all of Africa because that's the path of least resistance. That just, y'all just sound goofy. You sue all of Africa. Okay, good luck. Good luck. Like I said, that's going to get, no disrespect, but that's going to get laughed out of court if it even makes the court. Again, that's going to get laughed out of court if it even makes it to court. You're going to sue all of Africa. Okay, all right. So you're going to sue even like Morocco and Tunisia, Algeria. You're going to sue them too. Okay, yeah. It's just, it's a joke. It's this whole reparation situation has become laughable now. And if you see these reparation hearings in California, they become laughable. The amount of buffoonery that takes place at these hearings. Nobody takes this reparation situation serious anymore. Nobody does. I think it's time to move on, call it a wash, and just move on. That's my honest opinion. What do you guys think? Listen, Link, isn't it? Can they also sue other Black slave traders within America? Yeah, it's complicated, you know. Link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, click on the link again. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome. Please call in, click on the link, call in, add to the conversation. Again, links in the chat room if you want to call in. All right, Christopher Muai Truth. Guys, call in. Add to the combo. Let me hear what you got to say. Click on that link. Somebody said you all too, Donnie Samir. I hear you. I hear you. But again, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link and call in and tell me why I owe you. Mr. B, call in. Tap in, as Lumumba says. All right, so we'll stay on for like another minute. Nobody calls in. We'll go ahead and close out. But I want to play this video real quick.
The Cherokee Advocate reports, I took a
Fair use, fair use. Hey, Politics Ditto, do me a favor. Turn your camera on real quick so I can see who you are. You can turn your camera back off. Okay, you can turn your camera off. All right, go ahead.
I think it's ridiculous. And another example of what Frantz Fanon, calls the colonized mind, to think that you could jump over the people, the direct people who inflicted the damage on you, and and go after a co-victim. If you know the history of the slave trade, Africans had no understanding of what American chattel slavery was like. They were basing it off of their culture, where someone who would lose in a war, you'd have to work for the winners, or work for certain members of the citizenry in the tribe, and then be able to, in years after putting in work, you could be free. You could have the dignity of a member of the tribe. You eat like the rest of the rest of the tribe. But Africans had no inclination on what was waiting for them on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. And it just goes to show how damaged internally a lot of Africans are. They suffer from what Dr. Joy Degree calls PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome. And you see the self-hate seething out of these people when, and the only way to cure it is to talk about it, is to have these therapeutic sessions on social media where we discuss what is happening to us and what has happened to us. You can't do it in a classroom. You can't do it at a university, especially in this current climate. You have to come together. You have to do what you're doing, Dynast. And I really, really, as a Pan-African, I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the work that you're doing. 10 years from now, we're going to be talking about you in a completely different way, because there's bigger things at stake. Netanyahu on live television said, after Palestine, we're going to Africa. After we deal with Gaza, we're going to Africa. We're going to help them. You understand? We are in a critical time that if we don't get our mind right as a people, you have the South Africans wanting to make a return and creating Orania. You got at the south of us, and then at the north of us, you have Israel, who has no resources, who has no wealth, but has nuclear bombs. And if we don't come together as a people, we don't become serious, because a lot of this is unserious dialogue. And if we don't become serious, guess what? We will be victims of something similar to chattel slavery, of something maybe even worse than chattel slavery. And the only way, like Malcolm X says, the only way is if Africa is strong. Sorry if I ran on, Dynast.
No, take your time. Take your time. Somebody says you need to talk more about it to have a reason to call in. I don't know what you mean by that. Listen, links in the chat if you want to call in and ask the combo. If you disagree with us, by all means, you're more than welcome to come up and share with us and give reasons why Africa owes us reparations.
Right. So
and then also too,
writing,
I want people who believe that Africa owes us reparations to really go into detail. How does that look like? Like that's what I'm interested in. Like, how did that look like?
But I thought the request was for services rendered, money owed for services rendered. There was no services rendered on the other side in the continent. They kind of didn't even understand what they were, giving these people into. Now, you could probably trace it back to some form of royalty. You could probably trace it back to certain tribes. But if that's the best use of your energy, considering slavery, slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, civil rights, Vietnam, war on drugs, like how many offenses has to be inflicted on you for you to be able to go, you know what, they're the problem. And now you would rather go and fight against someone that looks like you? That's so Fanonian in the sense of he talks about until you can attack or until you can commit violence on the people who have colonized you, your colonized mind, the way you think as someone who has been enslaved can't change until you could see your enslaver, your colonizer as the enemy, until you can attack them and without fear. A lot of this is self-hate, is a process in people's minds that has a lot of our people lost. Like I battle these people on Twitter daily, and instead of doing that, I've written a book that's in editing right now. I'm gonna send you a free copy when it comes out.
Okay.
And it's called Leave: Operationalizing a Pan-African Nation. And what I did was, I'm a 25-year software product manager. I've built companies, I've sold companies, and in that process, I've learned how to create, more on the online side, but I've learned how to create communities online, developing marketplaces online, building software applications that have created over $40 billion in revenue. I'm taking that skill set, that data-driven skill set, and writing this book called Leave, that is for both Africans in the diaspora and Africans in Africa, asking them to make a departure, to leave their mental state, where they are, and see their true potential. We're talking about the richest continent on earth. We're talking about 60% of the world's arable land. We could grow anything. We could have farms that you couldn't even imagine in the United States. We're talking about a new opportunity to create a market in Africa just by lifting people out of poverty. If we can do that, and the biggest beneficiary of it would be Africans in the diaspora. They need us to come back and help build the infrastructure, help build the new businesses. Imagine you build an African version of Facebook like China did. You now have your own community where you can't be suspended, where you can't be flagged, where you could talk about anything, any topic that benefits Africans, and just by reverse engineering things that work that aren't on the continent, specific to the continent. There's a massive opportunity, 1.4 billion people that you could lift out of poverty, and you could create a market to create billionaires. Like the numbers are staggering. Look what America does with 480 million people. Imagine what Africa could do with 3 times as much. Excuse me.
All right, let me no problem. Let me pass you, Folsa. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Folsa.
Brother Dynast, nice to talk to you again.
Nice to talk to you too.
Yeah, thank you very much. You are one guy I really respect so much on this YouTube space, because the role you are playing in the African community, is so laudable,
Thank you. I
So
appreciate
laudable.
it. That means
So I want to comment on something, that's really been bothering my mind, and I know that you have been a chieftain on this topic, this Pan-Africanism topic. You see, what really bothers me, brother Dynast, I'm a Nigerian,
yes.
What really bothers me is that it's like sometimes when I think about it, I just feel some of our African American brothers or siblings in the United States, they think maybe someone in Africa is begging them to come to Africa. No, it's for their benefit, brother. Africa is not begging them. Someone was saying, why did Nigeria not do year of return? Nigeria does not need to do year of return before you will know that you will come to Nigeria. That is what I believe. Nigeria did not do year of return before brother Dynast and me became a Nigerian citizen.
No, absolutely not. No.
You understand? Because it was in you. It was in you.
Right.
Nobody forced you. You are a Nigerian citizen like me.
Right.
If you are in Nigeria, then when next you are in Nigeria, there's an election, you just go and vote. You go and vote for a candidate of your choice. I don't have more rights in Nigeria than you, but people have misconception about this thing. I really don't have more rights in Nigeria than you, brother Dynast. It's the fact.
Correct.
That's the way the Nigeria system is structured. That's the way the Nigeria constitution is structured. There are people that have come, there are millions of people that are not born in Nigeria, but who are Nigerian citizens. So it's not really that, they have the impression that Africa is just suffering. No. I live in Germany. I have a lot of investment in Nigeria. You understand what I mean? So it's just that the Chinese, the Russians, they are benefiting from the resources of the ancestors of these Black Americans. They are benefiting from it. Nigeria doesn't care who comes or who doesn't come. We have a population of over 220 million people.
Right.
But if you come, we will still accept you. Afro Think Tank is a chief in Nigeria. Now you are a chief in Nigeria. These are our American siblings.
1 second, let me read this comment. MC Laughable TV. Africans are responsible for building up their own infrastructure. As a Black American, I'll wait until everything is built, and then I'll come to Africa and enjoy all the benefits. You'll be priced out already. All right, go ahead.
So when I hear them, they are complaining. Sometimes when I hear Kala Genesis, they are all complaining. Chinese are building everything. If Chinese come tomorrow with 100 billion, they want to occupy a certain place. They want to build industry there. I'm the first person that will ask the Nigerian government to go ahead. Because the Americans are not the Americans. They are part owners in that country, in that continent. But if they are not ready to live up to to wake up and collect what is theirs, are you going to force them? You're not going to force them, brother. This is what I mean. Nigeria has always been an advocate in Africa. Even before South Africa got independent, Nigeria boycotted the Commonwealth Games just to protest against the apartheid in South Africa. You understand? Just to throw a shade at the United States government, Nigeria named Louis Farrakhan Avenue is one of the most popular streets in the whole of the country. Just to throw shade at the people that were committing racism against blacks in America. And Louis Farrakhan was ahead of fighting against racism. In the 90s here, Nigeria named a street in Abuja after Louis Farrakhan. It's called Louis Farrakhan Avenue. So Nigeria has always had this relationship with the United States and the Black community, the earlier Black community like the Jesse Jassy and the rest. So I believe our American brothers will have a lot to gain. Nobody is begging anybody to come. Never. There are enough Nigerians to develop even the whole of Africa. Nobody is begging anybody to come. But those that believe they belong there, they will have a lot of benefit if they choose to go there.
It's our birthright.
Yeah, it's their birthright. It's their birthright. Just as somebody refusing his or her birthright, that is the way we are continental Africans. That's the way we see it. When they are discussing this thing on YouTube, Kala Genesis has never taking pain to go to Nigeria. So let me spend 1 week. Let me spend 2 weeks. Let me know these people. You just be on YouTube talking to like 40 people every week. Is that your Pan-Africanism? You don't like Brother Danas that he can write a book about Nigeria. He can write a book about Nigeria, not just sitting on YouTube talking about a people or a place you don't know, based on the media narrative you have heard over the years, but you don't know these people. You understand?
Let me pass it to free. 1 second, Robinson. Turn your camera on so I can see who you are first. Then I'll add you to panel. Okay, you can turn it off. All right, go ahead, free game. Free game, go ahead.
Are you talking to me?
No, well, he's not responding. Go ahead, Robinson.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, man, all I hear is people on here making excuses, man. If Africans was complicit in the slave trade and to selling us to Europeans, why would they not be penalized for the atrocities that happened over here? Even though they didn't do the atrocities, they didn't commit the atrocities, but the
You just
atrocities
answered your
happened.
question.
So why would they not be? Why would they not be held liable? And I
Because
don't
they
even
didn't
want
commit the
reparations from Africa, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna be fair, don't be one-sided and say, yeah, the United States owes us reparations, but Africa doesn't. When they were complicit, they were the people who sold the people.
One, most of the people who bought the people were Portuguese, so you'd have to find a line through Portugal. Secondly, they didn't commit the atrocities. They didn't create the systems. This lasted over 500 years if you start in Hispaniola, Haiti, and in the Dominican Republic. So if you're like,
I mean, it doesn't matter where they came from. We just know they came from Europe. They were Europeans. Every European country was complicit in the slave trade, except maybe 2 in Northern Europe. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if they're Portuguese, if they're English, if they're British. Everyone that's complicit in the crime should be held liable. So why Africa? So why should Africa be off the hook with owing us reparations? Even though I said I don't even want reparations from Africa because they don't even have nothing to give us.
Okay, Rob. So let me ask you, how would that look like?
I mean, reparations from Africa.
Yeah,
like I said, I wouldn't even care because they don't even have the money. But I mean, at least they can give us like citizenship because I mean, they see us get killed every day. If I'm your brother, let me finish. If I'm your brother that you sold and you see on TV every day that we get shot by the police with our back turned, women get killed by the police, he gets killed by the police. Why wouldn't you help your brother with citizenship? Say, hey, brother, come back over here to the motherland where we sold you from, so you can be safe.
Robinson, are we getting killed every day by the police, or are brothers killing other brothers every day?
I mean, see, that's a false statistic. You just bringing up white supremacist talking points. You have to go.
You're not going to talk over me. I'm asking a question. Are black men getting killed every day by the police, or are black men killing other black men every day? Just back your answer up with facts.
That's irrelevant because I pay the police my tax money. I don't pay tax money to my brother to kill me. I pay taxes to the police to protect me. So you're gonna turn around and kill me and not protect me when I pay taxes? I pay your salary. That's totally different than somebody on the street killing me. And black people get killed by black people at 87%. No, at 92%. White people get killed by white people at 87%. It's a 5% difference.
So are we really getting killed every day by the police? That's my question.
I mean, we're not getting killed every day, but 3 times a week, that's genocide. That's committing genocide. How could you not see that? If we got 3 people dying a week by the police, that's how it's 52 weeks in a year. Do 3 times 52. We talking about women and children also getting killed by the police. 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds.
So you brought up the term genocide. Are black people committing acts of genocide against each other at a higher rate in America, or are the police the problem?
No, they just exacerbate us killing each other. White people kill white people at the same rate. They kill each other at the same rate, so that's irrelevant. That's a white supremacist talking point that's already been debunked, Donis.
Prove it.
I mean, you prove it. You have to pull up. You have to pull up.
Robinson, I want you to prove that police officers are killing black men at a higher rate than black men killing other black men.
I mean, you prove it. You prove it to me. You pull up the FBI crime report. That's deflecting. That's deflecting from the topic because we're actually talking about Africa owing us reparations. So now you're deflecting to a whole nother topic, and we're talking about Africa owing us reparations when they do because they sold their brothers.
And that's just not true. That's just not true.
What's not true?
That police are killing black men at a higher rate than black men killing black men.
I mean, Dynas, pull up the FBI crime report. Share your screen right now. I mean, people drop YouTube videos on this all the time, and they show the real statistics. America would never give you true statistics on the way they treat black people. It's already been shown that every year we are victims of 3,000 hate crimes, but we still don't have a hate crime bill. But Asians was only they only experienced 120 hate crimes, but they got a hate crime bill. 120 hate crimes in a year, we experienced 3,000, and we have no hate crime bill.
Okay, let me pull
So
this
yeah,
up.
don't deflect from the topic. We talking about Africa owing us reparations. Let's get back to that. It ain't about black men killing black men because we already know that's propaganda, and we already know white people kill white people at the same. Mexicans kill Mexicans at the same rate. Mexico is like the most dangerous country in the world.
They yell at reparations.
They killing 43. They not owed reparations. We worked 250 plus years for free. They're not owed reparations. So what are you saying?
Here go the stats. Here go the stats. Number of murder victims in the United States in 2022 by race.
But where are you getting these sources from, though? You gotta show where you're getting to share your screen so you can show, because there's a whole bunch of propaganda in sites.
It's from Statista. It's not propaganda. Black men.
It's propaganda. Go to the FBI crime report, and you will see that white people far outnumber us on every crime except robbery, because black people are okay.
You brought up the police. You brought up the police killing us. Well, when we kill each other at a higher rate.
Oh my God, here he go with the crazy. White people kill white people at the same rate. I done already told you this, so you're not saying nothing. You're not black people. Robinson. Okay, so what about the Africans killing the black women in Africa right now? Speak on that topic. What you got to say about that? What about the Africans taking black Americans' land that they came over there and purchased?
How many were killed?
Man, it don't matter how many killed. You speak on the topic. I want you to speak on the topic.
Yeah, there have been land issues.
You go there all the time, so I know you got like a dual allegiance with African people when Pan-Africanism is dead. Because if they wanted to help us, they would have helped us by now. Africans don't want to help us. I got an African that live across the street from me.
I got black folks in America. We don't want to help each other.
How? That's a lie. Why are we fighting for reparations if we don't want to help each other?
Ain't no fight, Robinson. There's no fight. Where's this fight?
I mean, what are you saying? Nobody's gonna militarily go tell the government to give us reparations. So what are you talking about?
Where is this
fight? They're not gonna give you reparations either. Like, you really believe?
I don't care about reparations because I'm in the $1 million+ home. I'm living good. I don't even care about reparations. But I am gonna be on code with my people if they want reparations. I don't need it. I'm a retired veteran, so I'm good.
Black people deserve and should have reparations. I just don't believe, out of the 500-year history of dealing with Europeans, I don't believe that they would ever give anybody reparations.
Hey, no, I'm with you on that. That's one thing we can agree on, but that doesn't mean that we're not owed reparations when we worked. We built the country for free. Our ancestors got nothing.
You don't even have to repeat that. We know that. That's off deck. That's off rip. 100%. I'm Haitian. My people directly, when we refused to pay, was robbed by the American government. They went in there and took the gold right out of our banks. You
I agree.
So
Still to this day,
I know that I'm dealing with a violent, murderous group of people. So, but what I'm seeing, and what I went to Africa, I've been to 6 countries in Africa, and I need to do more. But I've gone to Africa and I've been embraced. Nobody.
Well, hold on. I got to interject. Robert, you say you're a veteran?
Yeah, I'm a veteran.
Robert.
U.S. Army.
Military veteran?
Yes, sir. Me and my wife. Yeah, Army.
So y'all are complicit. Shit, y'all owe some countries reparations for what the United States.
Hey, I know that. Of course.
Okay.
Of course, we know that. Man, Dinus, you know we
Nobody knows
victim of
better than the
circumstance over
soldiers.
here. I don't owe them reparations, so don't say me because I'm not the one who give the orders. The person who give the orders, which is the U.S. government, those are the ones who owes those countries reparations.
Were you drafted? Yes or no? Or did you sign up?
Come on, Dinus. Nobody ain't been drafted since the 60s.
Okay, so you signed up. So you made the conscious decision to join the military. You talk about
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I want reparations for my people. Yes.
And you still get a check.
Yeah, I get a check for life. I'm good for life.
I would say this: give your military check to the country that the United States military has destabilized. Then you can come talk about something.
Man, Dinus, that the government don't have nothing to do with me.
You work for the government. You work for the military.
That logic is flawed, Dinus. Like, come on. You really just try. You really reach it now for one. Man, come on, Dinus. We're supposed to be talking about Africa. Look, this supposed to be. It's funny, man. How do I owe? I ain't never even been deployed. So I was in the military in Georgia the whole time. Oklahoma and Georgia. I was at Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Stewart, and Fort Sill, Oklahoma. So I lived in your home state, Dinus.
No, I hear you. But you're still benefiting. But you're still benefiting off the U.S.
Everybody,
military.
look, Dinus. Everybody is benefiting off the U.S. government from slavery. This country wouldn't be created if our people didn't create it through free labor. So everybody that came over here after our people did the labor to create the country, they benefiting. Right now, if you come to this country, you benefiting because the country started off free labor from slavery.
Yeah, but you don't make
my black people fought in the military and still didn't get paid. So I owe what I'm getting for my grandparents being in the military and not getting paid. So what you saying?
Were they drafted?
That's besides the point. They did their job. I don't know.
In the military.
I don't know. Dinus, come on. It's a person in every black family. It's a person in every generation that's been in the military since this country started.
I agree. My dad was in the military.
I believe you. It's somebody in every generation in the black family in America that's been in the military. We fought in every war.
I just don't understand how somebody in the military could point the fingers at Africa, but you're benefiting off of the.
Man, look, the thing is, I don't want reparations from Africa. I just feel like you're being hypocritical. And I watch your little short sometime, and I see you going to Africa all the time, and I see that you got a dual allegiance, and you got your citizenship, so you don't care about your people getting there.
You can get citizenship in Africa if you want. They don't go to.
Let me pass it to E-Man. Go ahead, E-Man. Unmute yourself, E-Man. E-Man, unmute yourself, E-Man.
Hey, how you doing, Dinus? So glad to be a part of the show.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Africans sold other Africans. Okay, let's be clear on that. Okay, that has occurred. We understand that. Okay, but after the Africans came on boats, okay, landed in America. Okay, everything else, hundreds of years after that, I don't understand how Africans can take the blame. Okay. Like I said, Africans sold other Africans into slavery. We are aware of that. But okay, the acceptance of government assistance, the abuse that Africans went through when they got to America. Okay, the gang banging, the murder rates in every large city, dating back from the 60s all the way till now. Okay. A lot of our females coinciding and aligning themselves with the government, breaking up the family. Okay. Arab corner stores in the hood who have sex with younger black girls and older all across America. You know, feeding us
We don't know
bad
that.
food.
We can't.
And
Now you projecting, man. You can't say
my
that
brother,
these Arab
I'm
store
not
owners.
projecting nothing. Don't cut me
Yeah,
off.
have you seen it
Don't cut me
firsthand?
off, brother, please.
Have you seen it firsthand?
I've been to
Because now you're talking
46
about my
cities.
people.
I've
Now
been
you
to
talking.
15 countries. You understand?
You calling my Black American
I don't know
women
who you
hoes pretty
are,
much.
but I'm well traveled.
That don't.
And
That ain't
please
got,
let me finish, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish because that's disrespectful.
Thank you.
And Donnie,
It's
you
not
should have
this.
respect for your lineage enough to check this man on something like that. To say that Arab store owners are having sex with our women, that's crazy.
They a lot of them are, but let me finish,
That's like
sir.
prostitution. You saying basically Black American women are prostituting, pretty much.
Did I say all? Come on, get out of your feelings, dude. Let me finish. Anyway, I know he's just throwing stuff out there. Okay, there's a lot of basically what I'm getting at. There's a numerous amount of things that have occurred after that. Okay, which you can go come up to an African. Hey, what is government assistance? What is that? What is, booty shaking, twerking videos? I'm sure they see it by now, with all the internet stuff that's going on out here. But anyway, what I'm getting at, a lot of things have occurred after that ship left Africa, okay? And that's this government, that's these white folks that have set up these things. Okay, the burning of many cities that could have been in the billions by now. Your Floridas, your Oklahomas, even North Carolina, okay? You had a lot of prosperous Black business there that should have been in the billions by now. Are Africans the result of those burning down?
They sold the people, right?
Okay.
If your story is they sold the people.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's all we can go off of. We sold the people, right? What happened after that? What's happening right now?
That's a crime against humanity.
Videos, all the drug dealings, all the gangster stuff. Okay, is that Africans' problems?
Twerking comes from Africa. I can go on the internet right now and look at African chicks on YouTube shaking their booty, bro. Stop playing. Everybody who's watching this live, go to YouTube right now and look it up.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
That's everywhere in the world.
Yes, you can. But I'm going beside. I'm talking about something else besides that.
Africans kill each other. I do watch global news. Africans kill each other.
Everybody's aware of that, dude. You're talking about stuff that everybody's aware of. Everywhere you go in every city, this person is going to kill their people. That's in every neighborhood. You go to an Italian neighborhood, they kill their people the most. You go to a Black neighborhood, they kill their people the most. That's common sense, dude. What are you talking about? Everybody knows that.
Let Dinah tell it. Let Dinah tell it. We the only people killing each other.
No. I mean,
let me read this real quick. Let me read this. All right. Today, homicide. I gotta mute you, man. It's like feedback. All right. Today, homicide is the leading cause of death among young Black men, and contributes significantly to the shortened lifespan of the Black male. In about 80 to 90% of the cases, the Black victim was killed by another Black, and about 53% of the murder victims were acquainted with their death. So again, it ain't the police. It's Black men killing other Black men is the problem.
That's not true, Don. You're not being honest. Look, I saw that article the other day. It said 60% of Black youth between the age of 18 and 25 would die at the hands of gunfire. So that means 6 out of 10 Black kids would die at the hands of gunfire. It did not say all by Black people. Like I said, people kill people at the same rate. So you're not saying nothing. You're not saying all the crimes that Black people got killed by white people. Black people got killed by Asians, got killed by Mexican people, Hispanic people. Everybody hate us in this country, Dinus. And everybody is in with white people on white supremacy. You know this, Dinus. You live in this country. Other people kill us too. Come on.
No, Robinson, the statistics don't prove that. Your argument, Robinson, was that police. Robinson, let me finish. Your argument is that the police kill Black men at a higher rate than Black men kill other Black men, and that's laughable.
Man, we deflecting now from the topic, man. I don't care. I don't even care about that. Honestly, I just want to say that Africa owes reparations, and you know that, Dinus. But like I said, you have a dual allegiance.
Nobody at this point, nobody owes us anything.
So why wouldn't they not owe us for reparations when we still get discriminated against still to this day? Navy Federal, the biggest credit union in the United States, still denying black people at an 80% rate.
To me, that just sounds like an inflammatory statement, honestly, because you said earlier, you made commentary on how you don't want reparations, and you know that Africa can't even pay you reparations.
I know that.
Me having grown up there, I'm telling you, they can barely keep the light bill on.
That don't have nothing to do with you doing the crime. You committed the crime, buddy. You got to pay and do the time.
I'm not finished though. That's one side of it. The
Just
second
because you broke don't mean nothing.
The second side of it is that the way that you're framing it is not historically accurate. It's not as if all Africans just started selling people that they knew were gonna go through that journey. And the same people who might have sold your ancestors might have sold their ancestors.
Hey, they might have did, but like I said, that's a humanitarian crime right now. So it don't matter if they did it, they did it. They owe if they did it. It don't matter if they don't have the resources to pay for what they did.
Can I speak, mates? Can I speak?
It doesn't matter that they don't have the resources. They should take their resources and just give it to Black America, right?
These are damn
Man, we
fools.
said land. We did not say give us resources. We said land.
These are damn
You just
fools.
said resources.
I said they don't have the
He
resources.
doesn't know nothing about nothing. He thinks he knows everything about everything, but he doesn't know nothing about nothing. Do you understand? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I'm listening. This
Can you hear me? Hold on. You best be careful what you're saying. Do you know something? Do you know the categories? Can you hear me?
I'm listening, bro.
Yeah?
Loud
Do you know
and clear.
do you know the categories of people that can be sold? War captive. What? War captive of war, criminals. Alternatively, you would have been. Keep quiet. Keep your mouth quiet. Because my people
bro,
are there.
stop playing with me now.
Keep your
You
damn
doing too
fucking
much, bro.
quiet.
We can respect you talk like men.
Fuck all about
You mad because y'all complicit?
Stupid dumb black bastard. Shut your mouth.
You mad because y'all complicit?
You don't know fuck all about
bro,
Nah, you being disrespectful, Infinity. We can conversate without talking like that. You doing a little bit too much, bro.
He insulting us now. He's talking about black this and black that. You black too, bro.
Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth fucking shut.
I'm a man. You don't tell me to keep my mouth shut.
You know something? Hey, keep your mouth shut. You keep your mouth shut. Because you don't know fuck all about fuck all. You're just a dust. You ain't been no way. Don't know nothing. All those categories of people who got sold, alternatively, they would have been fucking executed by beheading. Would you prefer
Your people
that?
sold them. Your people sold them.
Would you prefer to be fucking executed? You stupid dumb.
Hold on.
That's crazy.
No, Robinson, our people sold it. Our people sold it.
No, at Dynasty, they people sold us because we over here now. And let's be to be technical, it was a lot of black tribes already here. That's already been uncovered. Yeah, I know Africans don't want to hear that because they want to tag along with us. So
it's not about hearing that.
Robinson, I don't think Robinson, Africans don't care if you a Seminole Indian. Africans ain't caring if you a Seminole Indian, bro. They don't care about that.
Hey, I don't care if they do care. It's facts. It's facts.
You're not a Seminole.
Okay, Robinson, go do the DNA work and let's pull up and see how much Cherokee and Seminole you got in you.
DNA ancestry is fake. They cannot tell you where you come from. You would have to dig up ancestral bones and compare those bones DNA.
You have to dig the ancestral bones.
That's already been exposed
right now, bro.
Google it. Hey, Dynasty.
You already have.
Google it right now. That DNA ancestry is for entertainment purposes only. It cannot tell you where it come from. A doctor has already said this.
So hold on.
10%. Look, listen to this. 10% is 1% there, 3% there, 7%.
Yo, you don't watch Maury?
So Robert, let me
You don't watch Maury, my guy?
Hold on. What Mike? Who's still talking? One of Mike. All right, so let's get this. Let me put this all together, Robinson. So the police have killed more black men than black men killing other black men.
Yeah, he going back to this topic.
Right, but that's what you said. Now you're saying that you're a Native American.
I ain't say Native American. Native American is a term coined by the American government from people from East Asia. We are American Indians. If you go back and look at the
Okay, look at
depictions
the
of
rubbish. Look at the rubbish, man.
here he goes. Here he goes, this African dude.
I'm telling you,
Bro,
they're fucking fools.
we is
They're
not you,
fucking
bro.
fools and black
We not you. It's cool. I
Oh
know that
my
we so
God.
cool that you want to be like us, and you mad that we not of you, but we not
Yeah,
you.
Robert, that goes against
No,
your
my brother,
reparations
my-
argument.
no.
You're saying
No,
you're
it
not,
doesn't, because
you're
slavery
Indian.
happened. Because
You're
slavery
Indian.
happened.
You're Indian. Are you an Indian, Robinson?
Slavery happened. We
Robinson,
probably
you
Indian
claim
and
you're
African. We probably got
Robinson,
Indian ancestors and
oh
African
my God.
No,
ancestors.
that's not
That's
true.
That's why
documented.
you're getting
Look,
But you
taken
just
about.
said you ain't African.
You're fools. You're getting
Dinah,
taken about. You
look,
don't know you're back from your
look,
front. You're
Dinah.
fucking arsehole.
Hey,
You're fucking
Dinah,
empty.
let's
You're
talk about
fool.
let's talk about the
He's
American
an
Indians that
arsehole.
was
The
taken as
guy's an
slaves
arsehole. I see
to North
loads
Africa.
of chatting in
There
this,
were Indians
whining
taken
like
to
cats
slaves
and
to
dogs. You're
Africa.
a bunch of fools. You're a bunch of fools. That's why you
He don't
voted
want to
for
hear
Joe
it.
Biden.
You hurt, bro.
He
His dogs holler.
voted for life. He
Hold
voted
on,
for
His
death
dogs
over
holler.
life. You
His
voted
dogs
for
holler.
Infinity,
death
hold
over life.
on. Infinity,
You
hold on for
voted
1
for
second. Infinity, hold on for 1 second.
His dogs holler.
Infinity, hold on for 1
You
second.
don't know good binary choices. You don't know good binary choices. That's why you voted for Joe Biden. You voted for death over life. Over death over life.
Hey, I'm voting for Trump.
Hey,
I'm voting for Trump.
Yes, you're fools.
Because
But the
illegal
most of
immigration.
the people
Y'all keep
voted for
playing
Joe
over here.
Biden and you're dumb. The man says, I'm going to wipe your fucking
See?
house. He still voted for him.
See,
You're
he mad.
fools.
He mad.
So
He mad.
Infinity, hold on for
Man.
1 second. Hey, Robinson, Robinson, you said that there were native Indians right here in America
Taken
that
to
went
Africa
over
and slaves.
to North Africa.
Yeah, sold to Arabs. This is in a book. It's
When?
documented. I ain't
What
talking out the
book?
crack of my butt, bro. I'm being
No,
honest.
I didn't say that, Robinson. I didn't say that, Robinson. I just want to know where you got the resource from that native Indians were moved from here, the Americas, to North Africa. I just want to know where the resource.
You gotta go. You gotta go look at the old books. You gotta go look at the book.
Man, those people
The old book. What is the old book, sir? What is the old book, sir?
You can go. Look,
Infinity, hold on. Let this brother speak. Infinity, let this brother speak.
No. You know what? With this shit, you know what? With this shit,
He heard.
you know what? With this shit,
He heard.
they don't care.
He
Don't
heard.
white people
Because I'm black
don't care
American.
about black life. Don't even care about
Infinity, hold on.
American, bro.
You don't
This
care
is
about
funny.
you value black life less than you value than white people value your lives. You can't see it.
We don't care. They don't value their life. They own Africa. They own Africa. You can't get your own resources out the ground. You can't get your own resources.
Look, you're just a fucking white. You're just a white man in black skin.
Man,
You don't know history. You know jack fuck shit cunts. You're cunts.
You can't even get your resources.
Killing each other left, right, and center like
You
fools on
can't
the
even
street.
get your resources.
Like what's happened in the past, you don't care about yourselves.
Yo,
You don't care.
You can't understand what
It's like a savage deposition. It's like an addiction. The murder rate over there, and it's like sick. And the freaking LGBT bullshit as well. It's sick. And yeah, and you can speak about, you can't speak about nothing. I'll tell you something. Most white slave traders were more fucking humane than you were. More. More black lives over there from execution.
See my
you don't understand the slave trade. You don't, look in Ghana, yeah. My great. What?
Bro, y'all don't even have school like that in Africa. Bro, I've been going to school since pre-K. Y'all don't even have school like that in
schools
Africa.
everywhere.
Stop. Y'all don't even have pre-K through 12th grade. Stop.
That's not true, Robinson. You're not well traveled, sir. That's not true.
So they go to pre-K. They go to pre-K.
Yes, they go to pre-K, brother.
You wouldn't be speaking about. You wouldn't be saying.
And another thing you didn't know, Robinson. A lot of those African students, the curriculum that they take, they're more advanced than us.
Keep your mouth shut.
That's not true. Why do they come to HBCUs then? They struggling trying to get to an HBCU. Stop.
Hey, Robinson,
do you say the same thing to those white people that goes to the HBCUs, Robinson? Do you say the same thing? Do you say the same thing to the hold on? Do you say the same thing to the Indians? Do you say the same thing to the Indians that have gone to HBCU schools?
But we're talking about Africa right now because can this dude be quiet? Dang, we can't even hear you.
Infinity.
Hey, mate.
Because he's
Hey,
so
mate,
emotional.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Bro, you gotta.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Dang.
Bro,
Let me pass the mic. Go ahead, free game. Go ahead, free game.
Good God.
So
Go ahead, free game.
Dynas,
Jesus Christ.
did Africans sell slaves? Yes or no?
They did. They were complicit.
Okay, so if they're complicit, why they can't do anything for us for not monetary wise, but why they can't give us land or free citizenship or
Because
something?
the average Black American is like Robinson. They're not interested in Africa.
Man, it ain't got that's besides the topic.
That don't
That's
mean
besides the
anything
point.
though, Dynas.
Yes,
That
it
don't
does
mean
mean a lot.
anything,
Listen,
Dynas.
the average Black American is rooted in America and they care less about Africa. So it's not gonna work the argument.
Dynas, if we've been here for 500 years, why would we worry about Africa? Nobody in my family has ever went to Africa.
You prove my point.
Stop. We American. We are American now, bro. Our kinfolk ain't kinfolk.
You know something? You are bred over there on breeding farms.
Bro.
He hurt that. One mic. Free game. Did you listen to Robinson? That's my point. The average Black American is a new ethnic group who thinks they are American African.
That's a fact.
Okay, Robinson. African people been in America way before slavery. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
That's pseudo, but go ahead.
But if Indian Native American people are not the same as African people that's been here. People get that confused. They're not the same.
Look, check this out. The Native American people came after the African people. This already, bro. You see this Olmec statue, bro? The Native Americans came after the African people. That's old. They already said that the Olmec for Negroes. You can look this up. Yeah, it hurt you. You all you doing is communicating to yourself that you're not indigenous. But I know where I'm indigenous to. Yeah, we might have some people that came from Africa, but we still have people over here. So that means we'll be of both lineages. It wasn't only so you think the out of Africa theory is true, but we somehow didn't make it to America. That's crazy.
No. I know.
Here he goes.
Yeah, you're petrifying the white people. You're petrifying them. You're petrified. You lose all the time. You're petrified of them, man. You get ripped apart by you get killed. There's no answer.
We know this. Y'all should help us. Your people should help us.
Hey, mate. And I'm
Your people should help us. Why y'all just send a boat? Why y'all just send a boat?
I'm gonna tell you something before.
Why y'all just send a sailboat?
Robinson, right?
Stop, bro.
You have an Olmec statue in your house, and you said that's proof that you was here before.
No, it's not. But bro, the Olmecs were Negroes. It's already proven. You can look this up. I don't even care.
Let me speak to this arsehole. Do you know something? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you this warning. I'm gonna give you this damn warning. I'm gonna give you this damn fucking warning. I'm gonna give you this warning, yeah? You ask us for reparations. I'm gonna give you a warning. Look here, and this is a serious warning, and this is a very serious warning. You ask Africa for reparations, we're not gonna support you in the claim for your representation.
You don't have it.
Hold on! What I'm saying, fucking mouth shut.
Yo, Dynas, man.
Keep your fucking mouth shut.
Crazy, bro.
And listen to what I'm fucking listen. I've been listening.
One mic. See, this is crazy, this is why the whole Infinity. Hold on, man. This is why the whole reparation is just a laugh. It's a shit show. This is why. It is laughable. It is laughable. It is a shit show. It is hilarious. It's more comedy than everything.
I mean, we deserve it. We deserve it. We're just not gonna get it though. We deserve it, but
Dynas, African people shouldn't be disqualified for giving Black Americans reparations.
Okay, Free Game and Robinson, if Africans are going to give reparations, explain to us how they're going to go about doing it to give you reparations.
Bro, we already said citizenship and land. We already said this. That's the only thing they can give because they don't even own what's under the ground.
Okay, Robinson and Free Game, you said land.
Africa was named by
we already know that.
Stop.
We know that. We know that. Let's talk about something that we don't know. Everybody knows that already. Okay. So have you made any attempts, to both of you, to try to talk to any other Africans, or by going over there, what work have you done to go about getting these reparations?
Man, of course not. Of course not.
I talk to Africans.
Come on. Listen, let me tell you something. This whole reparations argument is YouTube gangbanging. It's banging on wax. It's banging on wax. They just bang on wax.
Because
see, Donis, you don't really come with
if you can't go directly to the source, if you can't go directly to the source and speak to them, but just babbling,
it takes too much work and effort and concentration for them to go to make a serious claim. It's banging on wax.
So how do we get civil rights then, Donis? How do we get civil rights in 1964? I'm pretty sure.
Robinson, I'm gonna tell you the difference between MLK Jr., John Lewis. I don't care how people feel about him. Y'all ain't got that heart, man.
Donis, I'm pretty sure it was people like you back then saying we wasn't gonna get civil rights.
Y'all got that same energy.
Donis, we can go file a lawsuit against Africa now.
But you're not going to do it.
They have nothing.
You guys aren't going to do it.
Just because we don't do it, don't mean that we can't.
But you're not going to.
No, we don't want to mess them over like that, Donis.
We mess them over. You're just going to get laughed at.
We know America will help us in attacking
Africa. America ain't helping you guys follow those.
White America is going to help Black America get resources from Black Africa without giving it to themselves first. Free game, you must be a fool.
We don't care.
White America is going to not help itself first, or they're going to say, "Here you go, Black America," because we showed you processes that we've been helping you in America.
What I'm saying is,
so that means y'all should be living in Africa right now. By the way y'all talk, y'all should be living there right now. You shouldn't live in America at all. Denounce your citizenship. Denounce your citizenship.
Donis basically live in Africa, but what I'm saying is,
no, he don't. No, he don't. Show me. Donis, you got a house over there? You got a house in Africa, or you just traveling and staying in hotels and Airbnb?
He's so good.
I'm a citizen in 2 countries over there. Thank you.
I know that. I know that.
He's so good he's so good in. He don't have to go get no hotel. He can just call somebody up, go stay. But
yeah, that's cool.
But anyway, now, Donis, we can file lawsuits against Africa.
Like, y'all not gonna do it, free game. Goodness, y'all not gonna do it.
Okay.
We don't want
free game. A lot of babble on the internet. What is the game plan to go about executing reparations from Africa? What is the game plan? What is it? Because
man, we already told y'all we don't care about it, man. We not trying to hurt them people like that. They ain't got it to give.
We don't
care about it. Because being hypocritical. Because y'all being hypocritical and saying that they don't owe. They do owe.
Africa doesn't owe us anything. I moved on. I used to listen back in the day.
Because you got paid. Because you're for yourself, Donis. You got your citizenship.
Listen, at this
point,
selfish.
That's selfish.
At this point, the FBA, ADOS, Native American, Hebrew Israelites. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. Like, it's just time to move on.
I mean, you ain't hurting me. So, you saying it to yourself. That's all you're doing.
Because Donis went to his documents and be accepted into another country by going directly to the source, not just talking stuff. He actually did it. How is that hurt? How is that hurting? You said it's hurting. It's hurting who?
Hold up. What's hurting what now? I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yeah, I think I got misunderstood too, Robinson. Hey, Robinson, at the end of the day, we all have differences. We're both Black, so if I see you passing in the street, I ain't never gonna look at you and say, you ain't my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I hope we can all come to that understanding, because
that's a dangerous thing to do. That's a dangerous thing to do, because as we know now, all skin folk and kinfolk. And you know what? I'm gonna go and say this. Most Pan-Africanism is dead because it's one-sided. We don't get a benefit. from Pan-Africanism because we still haven't got citizenship or anything. So what benefit do we get from being Pan-Africanist? What benefit?
And Robinson, that's what I'm saying. What are the necessary steps that?
Because y'all not interested in getting citizenship.
See, here you go, Don. You just make a hypothetical.
Y'all are not interested in getting citizenship.
How you know that, Dynasty?
Dynasty, I think you downplayed the contributions Black Americans have given to Africa.
Yeah.
Explain some. Explain some. Free game. Explain it. Let's hear it.
Like how we have kept a lot of parts of Nigerian culture alive in America. For instance, we have kept Ifa in our Santeria. Hold on. Let me finish. We have kept a lot of African traditions alive. A lot of times in Africa, if they practice their traditions, a lot of times they will get killed. In America,
come on,
bro.
They will practice their traditions. They'll get killed. You're not well traveled, brother.
Oh my God,
man! Don't act like it ain't no crime in Africa, man.
I never said there wasn't.
But this man just said people can't.
After a while, go ahead. After a while, go ahead.
Thanks, bro. I just wanted to mention that, as a native-born African, we are also looking for reparations from African countries. So I don't know how it'll be possible for any other group to sue any African countries for reparations for what happened in the past. It's not going to be successful. People are going to laugh at such a lawsuit. That's all I wanted to say.
If the story is
we can put liens on your country, bro.
Hold on, you say free game? Stop trolling.
They can put liens on your country right now. What are you, Dynasty? They can put liens on your country right now.
They say they can put a lien on.
If you think the white man, Dynasty, Africa is an easy target, Dynasty.
Really?
That easy target.
Easy.
Hold on.
That's a fact.
What, Mike? So free game. What you're saying is, because you keep bringing up the white man. So you guys are gonna leverage the white man to get reparations, put liens on Africa?
Yeah, because they use the white man to get our ass over here.
Thank you.
But we don't do that, Dynasty, because those are our family. We know that. We don't want to go there.
Hey, hold on. After Wahala, you got a lot of feedback. After Wahala, like it's stolen off.
We know how these people are, Dynasty. We don't want to do that.
Really?
But I want to hear this one more time, loud and clear. You guys want white folks to put liens on Africa for y'all reparations.
Nobody never said that. He just said if we wanted to, we can mash the gas like that, Dynasty. He did not say we're gonna do that.
Free game just said that. Free game, please repeat what you said.
Dynasty, I said I didn't say I want them to. I said we can do that, Dynasty. If you think we can't, you're sadly mistaken.
Okay, so one more time. Nobody interrupt. One more time. So free game. You're saying that ADOS FBA has the resources and the influence to get white America to put liens on African countries for y'all reparations?
No, I'm saying that the law, it's no statute of limitations on slavery, Dynasty.
So what are you saying, bro?
I'm saying it with or without the white man, liens can be put on Africa for slavery.
Okay,
trust me. I guarantee.
Hold on, we gotta go deep. Free game, please go into detail on how you could possibly do that. Go ahead, free game. Guys, don't interrupt. Go ahead, free game.
Because you have participated in a contract that doesn't offer anybody anything but yourself. That is a crime. That is a crime. You're human trafficking. That's a crime. That's ground for lawsuits. That it don't matter. It don't matter what the white man say. If we want to, we can put liens on Africa today.
Who is we?
Black American lawyers.
Hey,
What?
Diamond.
We got a lawyer right here. No. We got a lawyer. After a while, we just got too much feedback, bro.
There's no basis. How you gonna put liens on the solve?
Well, U.S. lawyer, your phone is your trap phone is acting up. U.S. lawyer,
I'm on a telephone. I'm on a computer, but let me see if I can do it on my phone.
I can't hear you, bro.
I'm on a computer. Let me try.
Can't hear you, bro.
Phone. I'll try to call in. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm calling in on my. I'm gonna call back in on my phone. I'm on my computer.
Yeah, that's not working. So basically, y'all get Ben Crump to put a lien on that. Okay.
Man, I can't stand Ben Crump. That dude right there is an industry plant. The government planted him
Let
there.
me read this because Biden did say this. Biden said that you have to deal with Latinos now. What is their strategy to get reparations with Latinos in charge? How are they going to get jobs with them in charge? Misdirect the energy, bro.
Great question.
No, bro.
What is he saying?
I swear.
What is he saying?
I'm trying to be respectful.
He's saying the government is allowing Latinos to come in here. They're doing it to replace blacks. What are you going to do in regards to that?
But what does that have to do with reparations? What does that have to do with reparations?
Brother,
there are a lot of Latinos.
You're not going to get reparations from African countries.
We don't want it, bro. You don't even have it.
Exactly. Then why even bring it up in the first place, bro?
Because it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical to say that white people owe us and Africa don't owe us.
Bro,
that's hypocritical.
But you're not taking any actions nor steps in going about getting it. You're saying you don't care. So what is it? You don't care. You're not taking any steps to go about getting these reparations. Which one is it, sir?
Bro,
what we
saying is people are going to be laughing if you bring up trying to get reparations from African countries where African people have not even, survived. It's laughable, bro.
Hey, don't be mad because y'all got the bad end of the deal. Y'all got the bad end of the deal. Y'all sold some people for some products, and y'all blew the bag. That's y'all fault that y'all blew the bag. Y'all should have kept the money that they gave y'all and built y'all country. That's a fact.
Let me pass it to Kelvin. Go ahead, Kelvin. Kelvin, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Kelvin.
Hey guys, what's up?
Go ahead.
I think there's a lot of going on here, and I just think these FBA people make themselves look stupid by the day because you're demanding reparations from Africans, like really.
I'm gonna start talking about Africans too. Then, since y'all can just talk about FBA sounding stupid, I'm gonna talk about how stupid y'all sound and how stupid y'all love for fleeing y'all country.
Stop interrupting people. You are too lousy. Let other people talk.
I'm sorry about that one. I give you that one. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
The only person here. Let other people make their views too.
My bad.
Go ahead,
I mean, I thought you guys were Indians. So what do you want with Africa now? Because all of a sudden you are Indians. The next day you are Africans. The next day you want money from everybody. You want money from Africans. You want money from black, white people. Like you're Indians. Just decide who you are. You can't be Indians now. The next day you want to be black people. The next day you want to be Africans. You want money from everybody. You're just beggars. You are in the richest country in the world. Just figure it out. Stop being a bunch of bitches.
Y'all the biggest beggars, bro. You leaving your country.
I'm in Kenya right now. I'm in Kenya right now.
But
I've
y'all
never
fleeing
left
y'all
my
country at high rates. But y'all fleeing y'all country at high rates to come to what we built. You're coming to what we built.
Bro,
if you go to Europe, you're going to where black slaves built in Europe.
What did you build?
I've been listening to your.
We built every city in the U.S. from the Midwest to the East.
No, please. Bro, I've been listening to you talking with your bad English and you are the one who was raised in America.
Man, I'm
not
from
me.
Texas, bro. I don't care.
Listen,
I'm from
bro.
Texas, dog.
I'm in Nairobi right now. I've never left Nairobi.
I'm rich though.
Listen, I've never left. I'm rich too. I've never left Nairobi.
I mean, a lot of us got money too, bro. You ain't the only one with money.
Hold on. Did he just
I'm
say
rich too.
He's talking about me though. But I'm talking to him, not y'all. I'm talking to him directly.
Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you right now.
You don't even have a right in America. The America you claim you built.
Hold on.
You have no right in America.
Listen.
You are a fourth-class citizen.
Hold on. Did he just say?
Let me tell you something.
You keep saying Africans keep coming to America that we build. What did you build?
He called us stupid. We built the whole
Do you own
America for
America?
free. We
Okay,
did
Rob,
250 plus years of
y'all,
free
let Calvin,
labor.
let
That's
Calvin
the
finish
reason
what
for
he's saying.
reparations.
Do you own America?
Hold
Do
on,
you
what
have
mic?
a ferry?
What mic? But
This
Robinson,
dude crazy.
Robinson, who controls it?
Yeah, we know white people because they took it militarily. They
okay,
took it militarily.
okay,
Dynast. Look, listen, Dynast. Had we been as evil as them, we would own just as much as America as them. But we wasn't as evil as them. We had never seen people that just kill people for no reason. Black people still don't do that, but to each other.
Did he
Okay,
just
let me finish my point. Let me
So
finish
what we
my.
gonna do? What we gonna do? Just go kill all of them? Stop. Be serious. They bombed us with tanks.
Well, Mike. So you just
Can
said
I finish
that
my point?
No, well, not when I finish, you can. You just said that all we do is kill each other. So you just proved my point.
I didn't say that.
You just said that. You just said that, Kelvin.
Hey, we ain't killing nobody else. That's the truth.
Kill each
We
other.
ain't,
You just said that.
yeah, we are, but we ain't killing nobody else. We only killing each other. That's a fact.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
That don't hurt me. That don't hurt me, Dynast. It's a
Let me pass
fact.
Lumumba. Let me pass Lumumba. Go ahead, Lumumba.
Yeah, peace. What's going on? So I
ahead.
think that there's a couple of issues that we can unpack when we talk about the this push that we see a lot of Black conservatives or Black neoconservatives are arguing that African nations should owe reparations. One, when we talk about reparations, the focus typically is due to what? The fact that you're looking at receiving an indemnity based on individuals who benefited economically from the enslavement of African people. African nations did not benefit economically. In fact, if you ever read some of the work of Dr. John Henry Clark, he talked about the fact that what African nations received in return was a bric-a-brac, miscellaneous items of little value, and then of course they themselves became victims of the slave trade as well. So, well, I mean, we're part of that, right? We're African people. So I think
we not the people. We the people got sold.
Don't cut me off. I didn't cut you off when you were talking. Don't cut me off.
You're right. I'm sorry.
That's what you want, but this is what I'm doing here. I'm gonna speak my piece. So I think that's something to consider. For some reason, we tend to find a number of individuals, once again, who are Black conservatives or Black neoconservatives, who tend to find having a vested interest in a level of racial deference towards whites. It's nonsensical to me. I've read some briefs from attorneys regarding some sensible reparations initiatives, but to make the argument that one should seek reparations from African nations who themselves were victims of the slave trade and did not benefit financially, economically from doing so, to me is nonsensical.
Why?
Hey, that's their fault.
Why?
They sold people at the price they sold people. So if I sold you for a mirror, I sold you for a mirror. It's not Europeans' fault that they didn't develop their country. They got the bad end of the deal. That doesn't make them not.
When you say develop the country, so let me push back right here very quick, Dynast. I think this is why it's important that when we're having this conversation is rooted in actual history and knowledge of the history. So if you ever get a chance to read Dr. Walter Rodney's book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, he talks about that the underdevelopment not only of Africa, but the global South as well, was purposely done by European and Western powers so that European and Western powers can remain at the core of the global economy and benefit primarily. So it wasn't just a situation where individuals were not taking care of business. We can look at numerous examples of African leaders, even African leaders in the Caribbean, right? Who were heads of state, were developing their nations economically in terms of industrial projects, industry, gross domestic product, etc. These individuals were assassinated by via the backing of Western coups. Oftentimes, these nations were simply invaded and taken over. So when you make that argument, we want to make sure that we're making an argument and it's rooted in facts. Right, we don't want to bloviate and just make these broad sweeping indictments about entire groups of people or nations without being able to back it up with factual information, because it is intellectually disingenuous to do so.
So what? Honestly, this is what I want. I want African people and Black American people. Because this is just theory. Nobody really wants to have reparations against Africa. Honestly, I don't want to do that.
Not at all.
Those are my brothers. But I do want the British, Belgium, Portugal, Spain, who else? France.
France.
I do want them. I want Africa really to. What will make me happy if Africa really calmed down on France, Belgium, Portugal, those countries that really did a number on Africa, the British. I really want to see them get their reparations from those countries as well as Black Americans, because those countries did a number on us.
But free game, they too worried about FBA getting their reparations. They got panels talking about us why we don't deserve reparations. And I ain't seen no panel.
What panels?
I ain't seen no panel where they got African people talking about getting reparations from Europeans.
Can I say something?
Well,
Just one thing.
Lumumba's done. Lumumba, you want to add something, Lumumba? Or?
Yes. So I think once again, we're treading dangerously here, right? We're making some broad sweeping indictments about a continent that has 1 billion plus people, right? So once again, just because you haven't seen this doesn't mean that it's not taking place. For example, someone who has a background in African studies, I know that these type of things are taking place. Just because we don't see it in the mainstream media or in social media doesn't mean that it's not happening. So that's just one thing that we need to be cognizant of. Secondly, as I said before, there are a litany of scholars. Eric Williams will be one who wrote Capitalism and Slavery. We know he was a professor at what? Let me turn my camera on. He was a professor at Howard University, professor of history at Howard University, and he later became the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Right, Eric Williams, another. So there are numerous scholars, John Henry Clark, that have discussed the devastating effect that the transatlantic slave trade had on African nations, particularly West and Central Africa. So to act like this was something that was one-sided, right, is disingenuous. Secondly, when people talk about, well, one of the misnomers about the slave trade is this belief that African people sold their own brothers into slavery. That, of course, is a subterfuge, and we know that African people, irrespective of where we are the only people who are blamed for what? Their own Holocaust. No one is ever blamed for their own Holocaust. In fact, if you look at the German Jewish Holocaust, right, and I might push you all here, Jewish scholars have even stated that Jewish people were the Nazi regime or an administration, whatever term you like, would not have been able to round up Jewish people, put them in ghettos, and then subsequently concentration camps and engage in mass genocide if it was not for the Judenreich Council who assisted them in doing so. So whenever you have oppression, you have perpetrators, collaborators, and victims. That is a reality. So what we tend to do is paint with a broad brush because we aren't looking at, as we know, the devil is in what? The details.
I just want to interject real fast, Dynast.
Brother Lumumba.
No, go ahead, E-Man. Go ahead, E-Man.
Yeah, I just want to interject real fast. Free Game just got off. He named a numerous amount of countries that he says that can pay reparations, which I'm actually in agreement with. I don't disagree with America and especially European involvement in countries, not owing reparations. I'm in total agreement of that. But let's go closer to home, okay? We have Indians right here who the government, gave casinos to, etc. I mean, I'm sure you guys know Free Game and Robinson and others. They have direct on the continental USA, direct involvement in helping Europeans with slavery. So, and they had slaves themselves. So, I mean, we're on the continental USA. So they're a group that FBA, they're a group that you can go after right here on the home front. Are there any things that, are there any game plans in regards to that and going after the native Indians that are here, that help Europeans along their journey, although their numbers were in the 200 millions and they got reduced to like 1.8 million with disease and everything? They had a much more larger
they're
impact.
not the people.
Hold on, Robinson. Let me finish, sir. They had a much more larger impact in enslaving Africans on the continental United States, okay, and everything that that happened during that time. So I just wanted to know: is there a game plan towards getting reparations from them too, as well? Because I mean, it's documented and it's a fact. They had direct involvement. So I just want to know, Robinson and Free Game, if you're listening, what are the game plans that you have in attacking that issue.
And E-Man, if I could
they
just interject rather
participate,
quickly, I think that's a good point that you made. Also, just to verify, provide some to substantiate your point, John Cheadle, right? He was on Professor Dr. Henry Louis Gates' show, Find Jerusalem. He found out that
who also thought he was an Indian and had no Indian blood in him. Sorry, Lumumba.
Right,
Go
had
ahead.
no Indian blood. Found out that his family was enslaved by the Cherokee Nations, or we like to call pretendians. Right? I see Abdul Sharif in the chat. The other issue was that they even after 1865, the Emancipation Proclamation, they refused to free African people here in America. So I think that's a great point that you're talking about. I would also, if I could just briefly interject one more time before Robertson and Pregame can answer your question, what we tend to find once again is this. I would argue is internalized oppression. So instead of turning towards the individuals who are primarily responsible for our social, economic, and political quagmire, right? We turn to someone else that's easier to attack, right? So this is something that we see. I always make this argument of it's simply what you find on the playground as a child. Somebody may not face a bully, but they want to save face, so they start a fight with someone they think they could beat up. The other issue when we talk about reparations from African nations, many of the African nations that existed during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, and we're talking about maybe about 4 centuries here, 3 to 4 centuries, don't exist anymore. Right, a primary example would be the country of the nation state of Dahomey, even Ouida, right? So this is just something to consider.
Go ahead, Robinson. I'm gonna pass it to Jonathan Miller.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, it doesn't matter who did it. If the Native Indians did it, if the U.S. government did it, if Africans was complicit in it, if you were complicit in the slave trade, you should be held liable. You should have to pay reparations. Like we told you, we don't want reparations from Africa. Right now, we're fighting for reparations from the federal government. So it's kind of crazy to say that, hey, we're focusing our energy on the wrong person. I'm just saying it's disingenuous to say that Europeans owe for the slave trade, but Africans don't, and they did the selling. They captured the people to sell.
Yeah, but
so that's very complicit.
Yeah, but the Africans didn't do no hanging, they didn't do no whipping, they didn't do no not giving people food. They didn't take place in none of that. The Native Indian that's right here on the land, they did.
Okay,
some of them white Europeans.
Africa owe us less money then. They owe us less money. They owe us less money than the federal government. How about that then?
I think part of the question is, are we conflating the transatlantic slave trade with the Holocaust of enslavement in America, right? So those are related, but also different, right? So and the reason why I say that is because when we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, oftentimes it wasn't simply countries that were engaging this, but individual corporations, profiteers, insurance companies, right? A great book that talks about this is The Diligent by Robert Harms, right? So that's one issue. Now we're talking about the Holocaust of enslavement and the dehumanization of African people. That, of course, would be something in which you would go after the American government and other governments, not only as a crime against African people, but a crime against humanity. So I just think there's a lot to consider here. I think there's a lot of moving parts, and I think that when we're having this conversation, and I appreciate Brother Dynast allowing me to come on this channel, that we want to make sure that we're rooted in factual information, not innuendo or conjecture.
Let me pass it.
And I can even take it a little.
Hey, Jonathan Miller, go ahead, Jonathan.
I just want to say that I don't believe Black Americans are owed reparations from anybody, from Africa or from white people.
So disrespectful.
Under the basis that if Black Americans just use their sense and we grow intelligently, we look at the world the way that it really should be looked at, we live in a competitive world. We were betrayed by Africans when we were sold. Accept that. White people didn't look at us like we were some kind of people that they should be treating like humans or whatever the case may be. They looked at us as property. But in the competitive world,
that is not true.
Lumumba, you let him finish. I'm trying to.
In a competitive world, Lumumba, you can beg the person that's whooping your ass for whatever you want to. It's up to them to give it to you. And if you ain't got it after 400 years, why do you think they're going to do it now? They do polls every year on this shit. Do white people, the majority of the people in this country who have all the power, right? Do they want to give Black people reparations? The answer is fuck no. So are you going to go another 400 years begging for reparations? Or are you going to just say, fuck it, we'll do what we need to do to build ourselves up, and then we'll get our get back somewhere down the line in the future? You look stupid begging for someone to give you something and they don't want to give it to you. That's like
So
Palestine
what about
begging Israel to give them something. Israel don't want to give it to them. Israel got the bigger military. They got all the weapons. They got all the connections that they need. You're in a losing situation. So
so
to
what
be in a
about when they
losing
beg to be free from
situation,
slavery?
constantly begging someone to give you something, it's just stupid.
So what about them begging to be free from slavery?
People died for black people
They
to be
got it.
free from slavery.
Okay, so
Died.
what about
Fought.
them begging? What about them
Fought.
begging to get civil rights?
People
And they
died.
got it.
No one's dying for reparations.
Jonathan, if I can interject,
That's besides the point.
Robinson, that's the point I brought up when we had this conversation earlier. The We Want Reparations crew does not have the same spirit as the civil rights generation, as the generation that fought to end slavery. It's just y'all don't.
You're right about that, because Donis, you know what? You know why you're right about that? Because we feel like the civil rights generation was stupid for desegregating us. That was the decline of the community. We were doing better in the 60s. So
That wasn't
how
the
did that
decline
actually
of the
help us
black
out?
community.
What happened?
That was not the desegregation was not the decline of the black community. The
How was it
decline of
not
the
when we
black
owned our
community
own
was when
hospitals?
when we had elders that were stupid as hell that tried to align with all these other groups. And then we decide, hey, we love the Hispanic community. They suffering just like us. They just like us. We love the Asian people. Come on in. They suffering just like us. We love the Filipino community. Then at some point down the line, your ass got taken over.
You're talking about Mata
When I grew up in Oakland majority was black. Berkeley, the South Side was black. But then we always had these older people that would be like, oh man, it's all right, man. They one of us, Black, Brown, Pride Alliance. That shit never existed.
Right.
So our elders
Yep. And then the
literally
moment they start
sold us
doing one of
out.
our dance moves, they say, "Oh, he taking our stuff."
Sold us out.
Sorry about that.
Because even
but let's
after
also add,
even after civil rights, we still have black communities in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s.
and Jonathan, let's not forget African people also.
Hold on, go ahead, Lumumba.
Yeah, so just very quickly, and I agree with some of what Brother Miller is saying. You know, we know Assata Shakur, Queen Mother Assata Shakur, stated you never gain freedom and power by appealing to the moral conscience of your oppressor. So I agree with you there. But I think there's a couple things, once again, we're talking about, want to make sure that we're being factual in this conversation. Was when you say we were portrayed by Africans, at that time, there wasn't a concept of what it meant to be African. People were defined by their ethnicity or nation state. So the concept of being African wasn't something that came later. Secondly, when you talk about, well, we were viewed as property, that too is a falsehood, right? We know that this concept, even in African indentured servitude or enslavement, which came as a result of being a prisoner of war or committing a crime, a person was not, they were not stripped of their humanity. We don't see the concept of the dehumanizing apparatus of chattel enslavement until European race-based slavery came into being. So just very quick, we just want to make sure that we're being fact-based when we have this conversation.
All right, go ahead, Colin.
Okay, I'm gonna say some things that's gonna offend some people and piss some people off right here. Okay, but as you know, Diane, I've been talking about this topic for a while now, right? I do believe black people are owed reparations, but you could only get what you can keep and what you can take by force. Okay, reparations historically have been given to people who were defeated in war. Germany was defeated in war, and they had to pay out reparations before they could sell anything. Japan had to pay reparations to Southeast Asia and China and the allies, right, before it can get back on its feet, right? No one's ever brought the United States to its knees. So therefore, black people are not in a position to demand reparations. It's never going to be done out of the goodness of your heart. Now, this idea of reparations, I've noticed over the last couple of years. I'm going to look at this before I made a statement about this. I see the people who are pushing reparations don't believe in black power. They don't believe in black unity. They don't believe in the Pan-African liberation sort of feel. It's always about I'm American. I want reparations so I could just pay me back, whatever like that. And it's always done in this divisive sort of way, you know. Up until like around a few years ago, black people were talking about building Black Wall Street. We're making progress. Buy black, you know, black support black businesses, you know, black empowerment, black home ownership, black building black families. All those things were actually working, you know. And so therefore you look at now, nobody talks about that anymore. Why? Because that right there takes real work. What we found out is that when we get around each other and whatnot, a lot of times we don't really like each other, you know. So it's like, just give me my check and let me be by myself. No, you know, the price is that we have to come together and start building communities, building families, and building these things all over again. Buying black, supporting black, and everything like that. Supporting positive black media, supporting positive black images of ourselves and everything. We don't give the support to the people that's trying to make a difference in our community. Who was popular in our community? The Power series and the Black Mafia family and all this kind of degenerate rap and stuff like that. We don't support anything wholesome in our community. We were moving towards that, right? But now, so with the reparations movement, it's almost like I don't have to do all the things that we know we're supposed to do. We have to buy black. We have to support black businesses. It's about black empowerment and all stuff like that. You know, supporting each other and everything like that. So basically, let's talk about reparations. And so all that is went by the wayside. Nobody talks about it anymore. I remember a couple of years ago, Dynast used to have a lot of people on your show that's coming here that used to do a lot of stuff on things like how to get your credit score right, blockchains, and all kinds of stuff that's came on this platform. You know, but they don't show up anymore. Why? Because we're not interested. All we want to do is talk about reparations. And to be honest with you, right? Just like you say in California, it's never going to happen. So if we know it's never going to happen, what's the next game? Do we go back to talk about, well, let's pull ourselves up. Let's take that $1.6 trillion that we spend every year and make a point of spending at least 30 to 40% of our income with black-owned businesses and establishments and stuff like that. You know, remember when COVID happened, they put a marker on black-owned businesses on DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff like that. They said the black businesses, they experienced a 60% increase in sales, but just by doing that, because everybody's feeling the whole, for a better word, Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd and everything. So everybody, even white people, were like, oh, let's support black businesses and everything. So we don't do that because people like Yvette Carnell tells us that's this, because that takes black unity. Black unity means that black people from different people got to work together. That means you got to work with your Jamaicans. You got to work with your continental Africans. You got to work with other black people. You're not thinking about who's the ADOS, FBA, and all this kind of stupid stuff. Basically, we and also the people talk about reparations. What do they talk about it for? They said the black people in the United States, descendants of slaves, we want to delineate so we can get a reparations check. So that's more divisiveness, more divisiveness. And it's not about reparations. It's just basically saying that we have some sort of unique relationship with the United States and that the black immigrants don't have and stuff like that, because they're not asking for reparations. They come over here and whatever they got, they're succeeding. They're living together. They're supporting each other. The stuff that we used to do back in the days to get by. We used to eat each other's houses. We used to lend each other money. We used to mentor each other and all these things that we used to have. We used to have a community. We don't want to do anymore. So that's why everybody wants to sit back and say something about, oh, we want a reparations check, and we're this divided and a completely chaotic community right now. That's what I want to say about that.
Let me pass it to Afro Times, because Afro Times been away. Go ahead, Afro Times. Unmute yourself.
Peace, family. Yeah, so first I want to start by saying, I think it's pretty wild when people make these sweeping indictments on Africans selling us into slavery, when if you come from Africa and you're simultaneously making a sweeping indictment, then based off your own premise, it would be safe for me to assume that prior to you being sold into slavery, you were selling people into slavery. If we're being honest, if you do your ancestry, you're going to come from some type of tribe that may have been engaging in that.
Well, let's say ethnic group. Ethnic group is the problem.
Ethnic group.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my bad. Ethnicity that's engaging in that. Now, mind you, it's way more nuanced, but that's just going off of your own premise. If that's how you want to do it. So to me, that doesn't sound like something that warrants reparations because you were engaging in it in yourself. But we know that's not what happened. Also, it's no different than the city I live in. If there's a human trafficking ring around here, I ain't finna take responsibility for that just because they're people from my city. I ain't human traffic nobody. So that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, I'm sorry that it happened to whoever it happened to. But yeah, I'm not complicit in their, you know, trafficking. In regards to reparations, there was this sister, she gave an analogy of like our circumstance where she said something along the lines of, you know, being African American is like playing a game of Monopoly where for 400 rounds you couldn't play, and everybody else is playing, getting money, buying up the board. And then after 400 rounds, you're allowed to play. Um, Everything is all bought up. You might be able to afford to land on Baltic Ave. That's really our circumstance. Given that same type of analogy that she put forth, which I think is a pretty accurate analogy at this point, if somehow, some way, you know, they went into the bank and Monopoly and said, "Here's some money, you know, take this money, and now you can do what you will with it." Once you get on the board, only thing you can do is give money to the people that already have it, and they're just going to make more money. I don't see how that's going to really close a wealth gap. It would, in order for us to really close the wealth gap or, you know, gain some type of outside resources, we would kind of have to go outside of that board, i.e. Pan-Africanism. We're going to have to engage in Africa more, and it wouldn't be helpful if we're trying to shake down their pockets. You know, we have opportunities to build in Africa and create economic channels between here and Africa, and I think those ways are much more realistic than trying to shake down our brothers and sisters in Africa for some reparations. Last thing I'm gonna say is, whenever you waiting for a handout, if you ever do get it, just know they 3 or 4 chess moves down the line. So yeah, they did quote unquote free us from slavery. We were freed, but they already had Jim Crow lined up, vagrancy laws lined up. They already knew what they were going to do to us to keep us on those same plantations, and it's going to be no different. So we have to start coming together and creating autonomous environments for ourselves. That way we can't get duped 3 or 4 moves down the line. And I'll land there.
Let me put this
Hey,
in.
you said reparations is a handout?
Yeah.
How would
Reparations.
it be a handout when we work 250 plus documented years for free?
You didn't work for that.
Huh?
You didn't work for that.
My lineage worked for it. It don't matter. My ancestors worked for it.
I don't want to confuse the conversation. I think it would be just if they did. It would be nice if we did. But at the end of the day, that's their money that they printed up, and they're getting. Why do I want to get paid in their money?
But my tax money pays into that pool of money.
Whose tax money?
So why are you okay with them giving money to immigrants?
Is it your money?
Israel?
Is it your money?
It's my tax money. You're right. I participate in the tax
you created
system,
the
right?
you pay taxes. Yeah, that's not your money.
That's the government's money.
It doesn't matter. It's our pool of money.
All right. If you want more monkey money, then sure, they'll give you more monkey money. All I'm saying is that's not yours.
Here you go with the disrespectfulness. Talking about monkey money. What is monkey money? I'm sorry.
Fake
Please
money. That's
explain.
what I'm saying. If you want something where they just keep printing it up, is you know, and they do it on their own will, and there's no real checks and balances for real, because nobody can really check them just off of the strength of military, and so nobody can really call they bluff. But it's not real. It's not yours. I'll put it that way. It's not yours.
Okay,
it's
so
theirs
cool
that they give to you.
So you cool with them giving reparations to Jewish people, even though the Holocaust didn't even happen on American soil?
Let me tell you.
That is a great point. You see how they do with their money? They do what they want with what is theirs.
So why
Our
would it be a
ancestors
handout?
wasn't
So why
fighting
would it
for
be a handout if
reparations.
we got
They
it?
fight it to be included in the system.
If it was ours, we would have been gave it to ourselves, right?
Okay, but you haven't explained why it's a handout, because a handout is something
because you're not because you have to get it from somebody else. Am I giving it to you? Are you giving it to me?
It's still not a handout.
It's a handout because they are handing it to you.
It's old. It doesn't matter if they.
Yeah, I said it was just, but you have to go. Well, are you going to get it without them?
My friend, if I owe my friend, and I pay him that $10. That's not a handout.
Are y'all friends? Are y'all? Oh, so now y'all are friends. The dude who's been abusing you, misusing you, and lying to you.
You know, I'm just using
I
it
know,
as
but
an
that's my
analogy.
point. Well,
Stop.
I know, but what a better
Stop.
analogy? It's a perfect analogy. You put forth a good analogy, but you just have to replace friend with somebody who's been, not so friendly to you. I don't want to, get spooky and say an enemy, but some people might call them that, or somebody who's leasing you out like a oxen on a field. Is a farmer going to go to the ox and say, you know what, for all these years, here's some that's not how it works. They seen you as cattle as you came over here. They seen you as a product. So you're looking at it in a certain type of way that they're not looking at it.
That doesn't matter. It's still not a handout. My point is that it's not a handout. You
If
trying
you
to say
call
it
on
like,
emotionalism of handout, then fine, brother. Congrats. It's not a handout. Yeah,
okay,
Well,
you're not going
listen,
to
at
get
the
it
I'm
end
either
of
cool
the
with
day,
that.
way.
you don't have to
I'm
look
cool
at
with
it
that.
as a
Robinson, let me
handout.
ask
The
you a
fact
question.
is, they ain't giving it to you.
Yeah,
So
let
what
me
you
ask you
gonna
a
do
question,
about it
Robinson.
now?
Let me ask you a question.
Hey, that's
The
because a
Jewish,
lot of y'all people don't care about it. People like y'all don't care about it. So y'all not on
I'm asking
hold
you.
with the.
nobody's
They're
sitting
not
there
get you
waiting
personally.
for,
They're not giving it to you. So what are you gonna do about it now? What's the next step?
Hey, it is what it is. I don't
All
need
right.
it anyway.
Hey, here we go. Okay, so let me pass the Colin. I'm passing the Dandelion. Go ahead, Colin. I'm passing the
Okay,
Dandelion.
now the whole thing about the
Thank
Jewish
you.
people always use about the Jews and Japanese. Let me say about the Japanese, right? The Japanese got compensation; they didn't get reparations, right? Because if they have to actually pay reparations to the Japanese what they lost, it would be in the billions of dollars. They gave each Japanese $20,000, right? And that was put as a rider on a civil rights bill in 1988. I remember because I was in college at the time, right? They put it as a rider on the civil rights bill, right? That
Yep.
was weakened the civil rights in 1988, right? As a rider, because at the time the United States was supposed to be closing its bases in that area, and so therefore the Japanese government, said, "Look, we have Japanese that came back to Japan, right? That came back here, that lost everything in America, right? They lost their property, right? This is a 40-year-old case going on. We have property and everything like that." And so what they did was they did a class action suit. They gave all the Japanese that were interned and lost property, right? That proved that with property, $20,000 a piece. That wasn't even enough to cover what they actually lost, but that was just a settlement. Black people take that as runs. Oh, they gave the Japanese reparations. They didn't give Japanese reparations. Reparations means to repair. That means you went to war, you destroyed a society and civilization, you lost the war. Now you're going to pay for that back. Black America has been built up inside of America as a cash cow. And 70 years ago in 1954, Black America's spending power into America $25 billion, right? They said back then, they said we have our own internal colony. They said we make more money with the Black people in America and colonizing America than we do in any place else. America to sell the Black America, right, was more profitable than shipping overseas single place in the world at the time, and it's still like that to this day. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is, reparations means that the country that's paying the reparations lost the war, is basically on its feet, is basically not even a country anymore, and wants to get back its sovereignty, wants to get back its receivership and all the stuff like this, its currency and everything like that. Want to start trading again, but that it has to pay X, Y, and Z. And Germany paid off its debt to Europe, right? It was back on its feet. Japan paid that back off its reparations. It was back off its feet. And the Jews, the money that was given to Jews was given to the state of Israel, a sovereign state. Black people said that they don't want to part ways with America. So therefore, that forfeits your idea of reparations. If you
No, because you said that they got compensated. The Japanese got compensated, right?
But
We didn't get compensated anything.
Hold on. Can you prove?
We got 0 cents.
Hold on. Can you prove that? Do you know where your ancestors were in the South?
Yeah, in Louisiana. All my people originated in Monroe, Louisiana, in that area.
Okay, the Louisiana area right there.
East Texas.
What you can do, right? And it's been done in some cases, in minor cases, they made some amends, like they compensated the people for Rosewood, because people lost and it was a thing. But the thing is, though, has the ugly part.
They didn't compensate them either.
They gave some of the descendants compensation. Yes, they did.
Can you pull it up right now? Can somebody pull it up that's on the panel? Because I like that.
Let me do this. Let me pass the kid because Kazorian's been ready. Let me pass the Kazorian and pass the Dandelion. Go ahead, Kazorian. Unmute yourself. Meet yourself, Kazorian.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on to the panel. I have a few questions for Black Americans and the whole reparations. Don't you think it's better to put your efforts towards building Black businesses rather than trying to beg the white man for little handouts? I want to respond.
That would make too much sense.
How are we begging for something we owe?
I have my own business, so I'm not sweating no damn.
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, I'm good too. I don't really need reparations, but we are owed reparations still, even though I don't need it.
Well, you could say, let's say you dating a girl, right there, Robinson, right? And let's say you spent like money on her car, and this happened to all of us, including me. You spent money on her car, you bought her the finest jewelry, you did all the stuff like this, you did everything you could for her. You was a best perfect man and everything like that, right? And then somehow, some way, she just says, you know something, I ain't feeling you. She goes up with the next dude, right? Now you could make the case that I want all my stuff back. I want all the stuff that I paid, the time that I spent with you, and all the. And you could make the case for that, but can it hold up legally in court? No, you gave that away. Just like if we're slaves in America, right? Once we say that we want to be American citizens and that we salute the flag, we send our best and brightest to go die in their wars and everything like that. And black people tell you that they're more American than white people are. They call themselves foundational Black Americans, and they're waving the American flag. You cannot at the same time talk about reparations. It don't work like that. There's no logical way that makes any sense.
How when FBA is saying that we have descendants of Africans and we also have descendants of tribes that was here in America that were Black?
See, but there were no descendants of tribes in America. That's why I said this is what
that's
I'm talking
not
about.
true. You can pull it up right now.
The reparation movement.
You can pull up documents right now.
Believe they were Native Americans.
You can pull up documents.
Native Americans. They believe slavery didn't happen. On one hand, you say slavery never happened. You were already here. Do you believe you're already here, or you believe you're Indian?
Man, I believe I got Indian ancestors. You're right. American Indian ancestors.
Hold on.
Yeah, he owe us reparations.
One mic. One mic. Robinson, show Collar your Olmec statue.
Man, that's besides the point, man. You see the Olmec statue. That's besides the point, man.
You got the wrong one. You got to apologize.
Diners, you got all this African art. Diners, you got all this African art, and you're not African. You're Black American. You're African American.
Well,
hold on. Let me speak to
I know,
this
but look, African American wasn't created to 1988 by Jesse Jackson.
Except the fact you're
African American didn't come into play until 1988.
Diners, let me give me a chance.
That's a fact.
Let me speak real quick. Collar, let me speak to this, please. So once again, as I stated before, this is why it's important that we're having conversations that are rooted in facts. The term African American did not come into being in 1988. One of the first progenitors of the term African American was T. Thomas Fortune. T. Thomas Fortune.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
Way back in the 19th century. So, Brother
it was
Robinson,
designated in 1988.
No,
I'm gonna pull up the article. I'm going to show you the article.
T. Thomas Fortune.
I'm going to show you the article.
First individuals back in the late 1800s to coin and use the term African American. That's a fact.
Even before that,
I'm going to show you the article.
1987.
Philadelphia Inquirer.
Right. I'm African American.
Right. Number two, African Americans are a ethnic group of African people, just like Afro-Jamaicans, Afro-Haitians, etc.
True.
Right. So we didn't stop being African just because we're living in another country.
We got both lineages.
Right. So, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Kyla, let me finish. I got this. This is easy work. Come on now. You know what I do.
You're not proving anything.
Number two, you can choose to identify with Indian heritage. I don't want to. I mean, that ain't. I'm African all day. I don't even want to have. I don't even want to be of mixed race ancestry. And if I was, it's not something I would even claim.
Me either.
I'm just gonna be.
I don't want no European ancestry. I love being Black.
Native American, anything.
I love my American.
Diners, you know,
not Native American. Native American or Asian.
You know, over here at the Lumumba Speaks, we always bet on Black. Right. So I don't do all of that. You know, I got this in me, I got that in me. You know, I don't do the dishy ice cream, dishy out.
don't
always
either.
said no black over here, right?
I
But
don't either.
the other point that I wanted to make is that, hold on, just very, very quickly. But the one point I wanted to make, and I think this is very important that we crystallize this and that we stand on business and we sit on this, is that the term African American was something that was used long before 1988 to identify and describe African people that were living in America. That is a historical fact. There's no way around that. Right, so that this idea and concept that this term came into use in the 1980s is not true.
All right, I'm gonna read the article for you. I'll read the article.
I understand the article, but I'm telling you the article is not accurate. There are a lot of people who write articles, but it doesn't mean that what is being stated is true.
Bro, that's when they federally put the term on us in 1988.
No,
I just took a screenshot of the article.
African Americans, there were numbers of African Americans who used the term long before the United States government did. That's the point that I'm making.
Okay, check this out.
You're missing the point. No, you're missing the point. You need to acknowledge the fact that African Americans, long before the federal government, in the 17th century, 18th century, I coined the term and used it to describe themselves.
Show me proof.
I can do it right here. I have the book right here by T. Thomas.
Please show me proof.
Yes, sir.
What's the book called?
The book is called T. Thomas Fortune, the Afro-American Agitator. Yes. So we are not. So here we go. This is page 20. XX. This is in the introduction. He says, we are not all black in color. Let me date back. Just go back. In late 1880s and early 1890s, Fortune became a leading promoter of the term African American as the racial designation for blacks in the United States. The moniker the community would use had become hotly debated and issue in the late 19th and early 20th centuries as individuals advocated for terms Negro, color, and Afro-American. Fortune placed himself at the center of much of the debate. He tried unsuccessfully to convince Booker T. Washington to use African American, asking him shortly after his Atlanta Exposition address if he could not see his way to use the term African American when speaking of the race as a whole. Washington, however, like a number of individuals, including W.B. Du Bois, Alexander Crummell, and John E. Bruce, preferred the term Negro with a capital N. Fortune did not, however. He explained to Washington in 1895, we are not all black, colored, and yellow, but we are all African American. We are African in origin and American in birth, therefore by logic of it, African American. Shortly after the printed debate, Baldwin Fortune spoke before the National Negro Business League and argued, you can take your choice of names, but I am African American. Right? So once again, this is from a reputable source. We're not talking about liquor store scholarship here. Right?
That's a good
literally. If Dinus knows, in about 8 weeks, I'm gonna have my PhD. Right? I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's cool.
This is not liquor store scholarship.
A degree ain't nothing, bro. A degree ain't nothing.
Well, actually, it's something.
Nothing but a piece of paper. That's nothing but a piece of paper.
A piece of paper is credentials.
Nothing but a piece of paper.
That's why I teach. That's why
if
I
it makes you feel good.
That's why I teach
if a PhD makes you feel better, okay, doctor.
It's not just a piece of paper. They're credentials.
Okay, Dr. Patrice Lumumba. Dr. Patrice Lumumba.
It's Bakari Lumumba. Get it right. Yes, sir.
Okay. That ain't even your real last name, though.
Actually, it is. My legal name is Bakari K. Lumumba. My legal name.
You African
and my children's legal name is Lumumba.
Oh,
right?
you changed your name legally.
Legal name,
you don't even know where in Africa you from. What tribe you come from?
Yeah, I do. Actually, the proper term is ethnic group. The proper term is ethnic group. The proper term is ethnic group. Once again, if we want to speak in facts. I come from the region of West Central Africa, particularly the nation, what is now known as the nation state of Angola. So I do know that.
Hey, we're brothers.
So where do your people originate from in the U.S.?
I'm from Angola too. My ancestors from Angola.
Where do your people originate from in the U.S.?
I don't care.
Where are your people from in the South?
I said once again,
what
Georgia.
city are they from?
Georgia.
So your people got off a slave boat. Look, your people got off a 90-day voyage on a slave boat, pissing and shitting on each other, vomiting on each other, and then they walked to Atlanta, Georgia.
You want reparations? You're mocking our ancestors.
Right.
I ain't mocking my ancestors. How am I mocking my ancestors? How?
Okay, let me ask you the daddy line.
You're mocking our ancestors.
Carl, let me ask you the daddy line.
Thank you.
I'm not.
All I'm gonna say
you
is
can't show me a slave ship. Not one.
See, now the slave ship though. Yeah, you want?
Yeah, who said that earlier? They don't.
Daddy line. Go ahead, daddy line.
Tell me one.
I'm gonna say, from what I've seen so far in every single conversation on this topic, the problem is the people that claim they want reparations, they don't actually take it seriously. They just come across as trolls. They don't seem to have any real education in anything. They just say stupid things. Like, for instance, earlier on, one of these guys said that America can put a lien on Africa in regard to the reparations, which just sounded so stupid.
I think you're making a good point, Danny Lion.
Yeah, the entire African continent did not take part in slavery. These people can't even just name countries in Africa if they were even going to go ahead with such a stupid comment in the first place. Then you've got one guy, I think this guy Robinson. First, he's an American Indian. Then when people say, well, if you're American Indian, what are you even doing in this conversation? Next thing, well, I do have some African in me. And then he's making fun of someone for having an African name, all while he's got a white European name, Robinson. And so it's like he's proud of that. But then and the next minute he's saying he doesn't even want any white European in him. He wants to be totally black, whilst making fun of African names, whilst he has an European name. Some of these things are it's just like their leader, Tariq Nasheed. He was meant to be Mr. Reparations. But go and listen to any of his shows if you can stomach it. And it's just stupid name calling, jokes. And I'm thinking, well, if that's your leader, if your leader's an idiot like Tariq Nasheed, we don't expect any better from him.
Nah, he just saying some shit he don't even know. I only watched Tariq Nasheed maybe 2 times in my life. Stop. I only watched Tariq maybe 2 times. It wasn't entertaining.
He can't even help himself. He's been talking for hours. I come in and look, he can't behave himself. But anyway, like I said, these guys are just trolls. They're just foundational black attention seekers. That's what they should really be called.
That's a good one. I'm gonna have to write that down. I'm telling you, I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, they don't take anything seriously. It's all jokes. It's just argument. Just being obtuse for the sake of it. You're just saying one thing. You just want to argue with a bunch of people. Everyone knows you're not going to get any reparations. I'd love it if you got reparations, but you're not going to, because I don't think you're as interested in reparations as you claim to be. It seems to be, well, then again, you say that you don't even need it, but you want it because you owed. So it's just like you just use the reparations thing just to get into arguments with people online with other black people, so you can 1 minute tell us how.
Also, Danny, check this out. My assertion is that black people, before this whole reparations thing popped up like 3 years ago with ASFEA, black people were talking about buying black. We were talking about building with Africa. We were talking about trading with Africa. Sisters were importing shea butter. They were doing all kinds of stuff that was just revolutionary. Buying up the block. People were talking about all this stuff like this. Now everybody's talking about reparations because these trolls. They came here and destroyed the whole way. And I'm saying to a lot of even Pan-Africans, stop taking these people seriously. That's not a serious argument. Let's get back to nation building and building a global business pipeline with Africa and stuff like it beyond. That's what the track we're on. We have the technology, we have the communication. We can do it if we want to, but we can sidetrack with it. I don't know. And also, I'm going to talk about this Dennis Spurling. Now, I like Dennis Spurling, right? He's a good man. He's a good brother and everything like that. But the thing is, I strongly disagree with him about this. If you look at slavery, right, it was absolutely Europeans' fault about slavery. For Europeans were coerced in slavery with the guns and the corrupt kings and stuff like this, right? Look at Amsterdam. Africa used to boast big cities like Benin City, right? Oyo, stuff like that, right? Big cities, right? Prosperous cities, right? After 300-something years, Amsterdam, Lisbon became major cities, right? And look at Africa the way it is right now. So
that's a great point. We know that as a result of the transatlantic slave trade, Western Europe was able to industrialize and become a world power, while the Middle East, the Orient, and of course what is now known as West and Southern Africa regressed.
Why would we want reparations from Africa when Africa suffered?
Right, like I said, typically
they got the bad end of the deal.
Well, once again, when we talk about reparations, you will be talking about getting reparations from someone who benefited from one's labor, not someone who suffered as well. So that's just part of the issue.
So that's that Dennis Spurling got to take the L on that one. That was a bad bad thing on his part, you know.
And I will speak. I mean, brother Dandelion, I hope you can subscribe to my show so you can come on. But I think you make a great point when you talk about, you know, this issue of this being disrespectful and making these type of disconcerting comments towards Africa, African names, African language, so on and so forth. We know as the late great El Hajj Malik El Shabazz stated,
Africans don't like Americans.
Don't cut me off.
Africans don't like Black Americans.
He said you can't hate the roots of a tree without hating the tree itself. And we know that there are numerous individuals in our community who seek to engage in a form of pseudo-intellectual self-advocation.
They hate African.
Right. In which they seek to identify as something other than being African, a person of African descent. There was the belief, right, for a myriad of reasons that if I identify as something other than African, then I would not be a victim of global African prejudice.
Exactly. Man, that's 100%. They would delineate something else. They will identify with something else because if they think Africa is just so bad, so they're like that. You can't get rid of that pain of slavery. We have to deal with it. You know,
we've never been to Africa in large numbers like that. A few of y'all. The average Black American.
I'll be there in 9 days.
I've been to Africa. I was there twice last year.
But the average Black American don't care about Africa because we know nothing about it. We don't have no family.
I'm the average. Like, what are you talking about?
Let me speak to that.
What's the reason for going to Africa?
So when we talk about I think I'm glad he brought that up.
Africans don't even like Black Americans.
First off, you're making a broad generalization, and everyone on this panel has been to Africa or even have had conversations and relationships with African people that can disabuse you of that statement. Number two, I've dated numerous African women. I have African friends. The gym I go to is a Pan-African gym. So I can argue just from an anecdotal standpoint that what you're saying isn't true. The second issue, when we talk about why many African Americans may not know about Africa, there's a couple of reasons. We know that during the Holocaust of enslavement, according to Dr. Ali Mazzoui in his book, The Africans of Triple Heritage, he's talking about there was a process of contrived amnesia, to where part of the enslavement process was to get the enslaved Africans and the descendants to forget about where they came from as soon as possible in order to deprive them of motivation for revolt. The second issue is when we look at the miseducation system. Shout out to Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black history. We can't mention Dr. Carter G. Woodson and also missing Dr. John Hope Franklin.
Can I ask you a question? Don't stop speaking.
History book, it starts with the African background because they knew that history did not begin on a plantation, it began on a pyramid. Number three, and I'm going to wrap this up because I know I'm on
That's very true.
Is what? We also understand that as a result of the miseducation, what we are taught via media, education, and living in a vehemently anti-Black country to hate and distance ourselves from where we come from. So irrespective of we know about where we come from or not, because, I have students in my classes that come from numerous countries, not only in Africa, but Latin America, etc. They still hold on to their heritage because they're taught in the home to be proud of where they come from, irrespective of their 4th, 5th, 6th, or even 7th generation Mexican, Guatemalan, Nicaraguan, etc. So this is something we need to really take serious here, because we would never get respect anywhere in the world if we do not first respect who we are as a people, and that is claiming and respecting and honoring the fact that we are African. I believe that of all the privileges that we are denied as a people, the greatest privilege that we have is to be African.
Exactly. And I was talking to
what about the pyramids in America? Let's talk about them pyramids in America then, Lumumba. Let's talk about the pyramids in America.
What about the pyramids in America? What about
it's all over America? So who occupied those pyramids?
I really don't care.
No, who occupied them? Since you got a PhD, since you're a doctor, who occupied the pyramids?
Native Americans.
Teach about those.
It's more Native Americans.
It's more pyramids in America.
What does that have to do with me?
Bruh, have you seen the walls of those pyramids? Have you seen the walls? Black people with dreadlocks are not Native Americans.
Okay.
That's a fact. So you think that they built pyramids in America and they wasn't connected to Egypt?
You can't show me any book with any credible source.
Right. That makes that claim.
Wasn't educated online.
Now y'all just talking.
In my young years, I was in the library. I was a bookworm. I read books. I knew how to look up things and research what was facts. You guys got all this stuff like that. Nobody, no anthropologist, anybody else can validate anything what you guys are saying.
How? It's more pyramids in America than all of the world combined. It's pyramids all over the world. The people was out.
That's not true.
How is not true?
Sudan has the most pyramids.
Man, I'm gonna Google this right. Hey, Dynast, please do me a favor and Google that right now. Dynast, please Google. Does America have more pyramids than Africa?
You're confusing mounds for pyramids.
No. America has more pyramids than Africa. You can Google this. This is an easy Google search.
Can you hear me?
Robinson, where are the pyramids? Where's one pyramid at? Where?
Hello, can you hear me?
Robinson, where's one pyramid at in America?
Most of them are in Central and South America.
But you said FBA, Foundational Black Intention Seekers. Foundational Black Intention Seekers aren't
Look,
from Central.
okay, look. I'm on my iPhone right now. I'm trying to show you on my iPhone. Look at what this says. This Google. Hold on.
Just read it.
Okay, it says, despite the towering reputation of Egypt's Great Pyramids at Giza, the Americas has actually contains more pyramid structures than the rest of the planet combined. Civilizations like the Olmec, the Maya, the Aztec, and the Incas all built pyramids to house their deities as well as bury their kings.
Yeah, what does that have to do with what does that have to do with African Americans?
Because y'all keep talking about you keep saying like it wasn't black people over here already, and you keep trying to equate the people that was over here to modern day Native Americans. That's not true.
Those people weren't black.
What?
Those people weren't black.
So why do they call them Negro? Why do they call them Negro?
We don't care what they call them. They call them nothing.
See, now you trying to discount.
No, I'm not dissing anyone. What I'm saying is those people.
I did the same search, and it said Sudan had the most pyramids in the world.
And
Man, that's a lie. I just
what's the difference? Hold on. No, you showed me something that said pyramid structure. What's the difference between a pyramid structure and a pyramid?
Look, bro, I'm gonna let you read it for yourself. Look.
Well, actually, we can't see that. We can't see.
Yeah, I know.
And also read the source.
Look, it's quite all right. Once again, as I stated,
Google. It's history.com. The source is history.com.
Self-abnegation. But Adonis, if you could take control, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Let me back to Good Records. Go ahead.
Yeah, he don't want to talk about that. He don't want to talk about the black civilizations in America because you don't know nothing about it. I can tell. You a doctor.
Now you from Central America. Now you from Central America.
Man, America was one continent. America was one continent, bro. These borders were put on. These borders were made by white people.
So much. They love America so much, but they want reparations from America.
I know. Now you're a Mesoamerican. Like, come on, bro.
This is comical. Wow.
Hey, the Mesoamericans was black with dreadlocks. That's a fact.
Find these people at.
Man, I just want to find the Keller.
All y'all doing is
Native American, then why are you advocating for reparations for black people? I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. If you're a Native American, then why are you advocating for reparations for black people when Native Americans, people indigenous to what was known as Turtle Island, enslaved black people? Am I right?
And look,
you from Central America.
If the story is that African soldiers, right?
Wow.
Listen, if the story is that, okay, look, y'all saying that we come from Africa, right? If your story is true, that means Africans was complicit in the slave trade and they will owe us reparations if your story is true.
Well, now you from Africa?
I'm giving you an alternative story. You're listening to white people.
No, I'm not listening to white people.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
not listening to white people. In fact,
you're taking your ability away to move all across the world. You said that you had to have white people to move across the world.
But can I just ask you one question?
So are you saying the transatlantic slave trade didn't exist?
It didn't exist how they said it happened. That's a fact.
Not to the level they saying it
So
happened.
how did it happen according to you?
They enslaved
When you say they happened, who is they and how did they say it happened?
White people enslaved American Indians and sent them to North Africa also. They enslaved Indians and sent them to the Caribbean. Huh?
Wow. Okay.
You say what? Hey. It's true.
My thing is, our ancestors have been writing since we got here.
Afro Times. What reputable source do you have to substantiate the fact that Native Americans were sent to North Africa?
Indian Slavery in Colonial Times. That's a book.
Indian Slavery in Colonial Times.
Yes, that's a book. You say what?
Written by whom?
I don't know who it's written by.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's besides the point. It states that in the book.
No, it
The book,
matters
the book was
because
made in the
we have to
1700s.
build a
The
reputable
book is
source.
from the 1700s. The book is from the 1700s.
What I'm saying that it says published in 2009.
No,
I'm
that's a
looking
lie.
it up now.
The book is from the 1700s. You got to buy it on Amazon. The book is like $600. Because if you want to hide something from somebody, you put it in a book. A lot of
Well,
these
actually,
books.
I'm looking at it now. The book is $29.56 on Amazon. Can you let me share my screen, Dynast?
I can share it. I got it right here. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, I don't, I don't know what he's talking about here. I'm looking at it right now.
Let me pass that good records teardrop. Go ahead.
I just wanted to respond to Keller about going back to Pan-Africanism. We've been trying that since the Civil Rights era, and as far as these past 4 years, that's not working with the Africans themselves. They come over here and look at us like they burying us or something with all this stuff. And from the beginning of the show, that's how Africans look at us. Although we help them get over here.
Let me ask you a question, right? I know this is
You're painting with a broad brush. And Pan-Africanism, wait, real quick. Pan-Africanism didn't start. Pan-Africanism dates all the way back to what? The success of the Haitian Revolution.
Right.
Most scholars, so to say that this is something that started, and also with the civil rights movement, most civil rights.
Marcus Garvey? Marcus Garvey?
We're talking about it started. Most civil rights activists were integrationists. So they
and nobody wanted to go back to Africa then either. Nobody wanted to go back to Africa.
Because they was native.
You don't have to go back to Africa to engage in Pan-Africanism.
You don't have to go back. But
My point is, as much as we help out Africans, they still give us this attitude here.
Well, once again, you're painting with a broad brush. I've never had that experience, and I'm an African American, literally.
Y'all taking up for Africans, but y'all
in America.
Anywhere I've been, I've never had that experience. It didn't matter if I was in
New York. Especially in New York.
Huh?
Especially in New York.
I've been to New York. Matter of fact, I've been to New York several times, and I ran into a brother from Mali, and we chopped it up for like a whole hour. I was in Harlem, so like I said, I've never had that experience.
Yo, check this out. Let me tell you something, right? It's like this: if you feel low self-esteem about yourself, right, and then how you carry yourself or not, you're all Africans are like, they're coming over here to make a living because they know they go back. They got to show something. They got people depending on them back home. They ain't got time for foolishness, right? When they come over here and whatnot, they want to get with people that is doing stuff. Now, me, I got no problem with Africans and whatnot, and everything like that because we talk on a different wavelength, right? But if I'm on a street corner, right, smoking a blunt and holding a friggin' 40 ounce and whatnot, and an African walk by like, I gotta work my 3 jobs and do my Uber and shit like that.
Small minority. No, that's why I brought up New York.
Yeah,
that's why I brought New York. All the Africans come over here blending in with us.
Wait a minute.
That's not us. That's African. That's immigrants. That's not us. They blending in with the gangs over here, portraying us.
Well, I'm saying like this. Black people in general are just tribal. Africans and black people, right? But the bottom line is, we're not gonna let the lowest of the black people on both sides define our relationship. That's what I'm talking about. If you have problems with Africans and whatnot,
that's a good
point. I have no problem with Africans because I'm in different circles. The Africans I have on the continent, my brothers I have on the continent, I have an organization on the continent. We're doing fine. We're doing business. We're about to do a tour to the continent in a couple of weeks and whatnot. We're about to take a bunch of African Americans to the continent. They do a tour and stuff like that. We're doing business and stuff like that. We're working well together. So this idea that Africans don't like us when the Africans love us.
A good example is, I celebrate Kwanzaa. It was 2 continental Africans who taught me about Kwanzaa and told me it was important to celebrate and practice.
Exactly.
It's not important for us.
So
it's not important for us.
And that's great, but I'm saying I'm saying this to disabuse people because we like to paint with this broad brush. Africans don't like us. You may have came. There are some black people who don't like me, but that's maybe they don't like my personality. They don't like what I'm about. But that doesn't speak for 1 billion people.
Even the Africans I am friends with have the same comments and talking points. They say the same things from their families, families.
I live in Virginia Beach, Chesapeake. The Africans buy houses. They got businesses.
And we on a monolith. You're going to find people who are ignorant, who have.
We're not a monolith either.
What are you talking about?
Right, and anywhere you could go in the world. If it's African Americans, if it's brothers from Haiti, Jamaica, Barbados, the continent, the UK, who have negative views of other ethnic groups of black people. That's a reality. But that doesn't speak for everyone
everyone.
That's the majority. The minority is the one working with us.
Well, one, that's a disingenuous statement because continental Africans number 1 billion plus. So you could, in order to say the majority, you would have to have come in contact with over 500 million continental Africans. You haven't done that, so that making that claim is patently disingenuous.
Don't break it down to the country.
Yeah.
Whole Africa is a country. Africans, not the whole country.
1 billion plus. You can't say the majority unless you've talked over 500 million. You haven't done that. Right, so we don't want to make claims that are patently false. Now, you can say the people you came in contact with, that was a reality. But you can't say the majority of 1 billion people, which is over 500 million, thinks that way. Because none of us have ever met 500 million people in our lifetimes. Right? So we don't want to make claims that are patently false. It hurts our credibility.
So why you letting him make false claims about us being on street corners with 40s? Like that's the majority of us. That's a small minority.
I didn't hear him say that.
You should have checked him.
Who said that? Who said that?
That guy right there, whatever his name is, Cali Jenny.
So yeah, I would push back against that as well. I would push back against that.
I'm not saying we're doing that. I'm saying if you're doing that, right? If you're acting a certain way and stuff like that, and you may not vibe with somebody, like a lot of black people in America won't like you, you know? And there's a lot of black Americans don't like each other. What you looking at? We're shooting each other and killing each other every day. Are Africans shooting everybody in the street every day? Baltimore has the highest murder rate right now. Are Africans killing African American youth in Baltimore?
What was that? Boko Haram? What was that? Boko Haram over there? They just kidnapped all them girls a few years ago.
So you say Africans don't like us. It seems like we don't like ourselves.
Oh my God.
That's proximity. That's proximity. White people that live around white people kill each other. Black people that live around black people kill each other.
Here's the thing. That's another lie about proximity. Black people in America make up 60% of all murder victims. That's not proximity. There's a problem.
That is true. That is true. That is a fact. In America,
that is a fact. That's a fact.
Black on black.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, it's not all black on black. It's not all black.
That's not black on black. That's the death rate period. That's the death rate period.
Right? And most
that's
of it,
black and white.
Are black,
no. Black. We could say it this way:
being murdered by black and white
of black homicides, in which the black person is the assailant. Black in America, we make up 60% of the actual perpetrators of homicides in America. That is a fact. I've seen the FBI crime statistics myself.
And we're victims too.
No.
Yes, brother. That is not. That is not.
Back against that.
No cap. That is no cap, bro.
Nah.
I'm telling you, it's true. I'm an African American, but I'm not going to sit up here and lie.
I'm not going to lie either.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie either.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I can take accountability for what we got in the community going on.
In fact, I've been a part of a number of organizations that seek to disabuse our people of using violence as a means. And in fact, I was part of an organization here in Columbus called Guns Down, Gloves Up. So we say if you have to use violence as the way to solve a problem, get in the ring and box. I can say this because I used to box myself. So, we would try to alternative means because we know when we were coming up, I would presume all of us, or at least in our 30s or 40s, when we were coming up, you would just fight at the park.
Right.
And then afterwards, you shake hands and you go home and it's over with. Right? There was no, I got beat up, I was coming back and I was shooting someone. And oftentimes, those of us who had fathers, if you ran home from a fight, your dad would take you up there and make you fight the kid. And it ended there.
I seen a video the other day.
So,
where a guy got into
we need to get fathers back in the home. That's one of the issues we need to get. We need to get daddies back in the home.
Oh, it's not about.
I don't believe it's about either though. I don't believe
it's not about.
I don't believe single family homes is as high as they say it is. I really don't believe that.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Actually, do you have any? Real quick, because do you have any children? Brother Robinson, do you have any children?
Yeah, I got 4 children. They live with me by the same woman, and I'm married to her.
Well, were you there when all the children were born?
Bruh, I've been with my wife.
I just need a yes or no. Were you in the hospital?
Yes.
And then delivery, because where I can say this, at least in Ohio, because you said you're in Texas. Shout out to the Lone Star State, right? But in Ohio, when you had the child, they didn't come in and ask questions with your age, your educational level, if you're married, so on and so forth. So, yeah. But the data on this is damning, and it isn't just in the Black community. We see a rising rate of single parent households in America, period, irrespective of race. And many scholars, social scientists, argue that it's due to the rise in feminist thought becoming normalized. And feminist logic, the family benefits from not having their father present in the home or the community. We know the data belies that. The data shows that's not the case whatsoever. The data shows that children do worse across the board, irrespective of race, political belief, or religion, socioeconomic status. Children are more likely to have low self-esteem, become sexually promiscuous, abuse drugs, become ensnared by the carceral state, and even have behavioral issues if the father isn't in the home. But we see this as being something that's pushed by ideology. In fact, we know that the largest social protest movement of the last 50 years, Black Lives Matter, made a large amount of money off of what? And sensationalizing Black men's deaths, but at the same time, we're advocating for Black men to not be in the home or in the community. Hold on,
Lumumba, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir. First off, I didn't do it, but okay.
Okay, because Robinson says that the majority of Black deaths or murders are at the hand of police and not other Black men.
That's
not true. Said that. I never said that.
Oh, look, Robinson,
yes, you did. I said we got. No, I didn't, Donis. I said we got 3 Black people getting killed by the police every week. I said that's genocide from the federal government. We pay them. We pay them to protect them, not kill them. I'm listening.
Go ahead, Larry.
No, go ahead, Donis. Finish your point.
Well, yep. I was listening to Lumumba and Calogenesis. It was very knowledgeable what they were saying. I was enjoying it, which is why I didn't want to butt in. I just wanted to ask the 2 guys at the bottom. You don't like Africans. You don't want to be associated with them.
Projecting now.
Yet you want us to give you reparations. How does that work? What is the tactic to get Africans to give you reparations when all you do is disrespect them? I'm curious. What is the plan? How does it work?
You don't have to like somebody to collect a debt. A debt's owed. That's what you owe somebody, no matter how the relationship went.
Larry, let me ask a question. Good and full. How would you go about getting reparations from Africa? How does this process work?
We don't want it from Africa, but the least they can do is give us citizenship.
Wait. That's good and full. Can you answer the question?
Now we're working on it in America.
Getting reparations from African nations.
Yep. The same way you go about it in America. Lawyers. The lawyers do that stuff.
Who are these lawyers? Good for. Where are the lawyers?
Oh God.
My lawyers. We have committees doing this stuff. I'm on YouTube with you. We have committees working while you go over here.
What committee? What's the name of the committee?
What, Black committee?
Isn't this what's the name of the committee that's fighting for reparations from African nations?
I mean,
like I said, we're working on America right now. We're working on reparations for America right now.
What's the name of the committee?
Reparations.
We're not fighting for reparations from Africa.
Right,
if we want this from Africa, we could, but in our rights to. But we're fighting for America right now.
You're moving the goalpost. The question was, how would you go about? Because that's the name of this. That's what we're talking about on this panel. The question was, how would you go about getting reparations from African nations? Right? You said we have lawyers to handle that. You said we have committees. I asked the question, what is the name of the committee? It's a very simple question. What is the name of the committee?
He talking about the committee.
Robinson, hold on, Robinson. Don't save him yet. Don't save him yet. What's the name of the committee?
He got this.
What's this, like a Gavi question? Well, we have 3 committees.
I'm just asking you, what's the name of the committee?
We don't have any working in Africa because we're not to Africa.
No, sir. So what is the name of the committee? Because the question was, how would you go about getting reparations from African nations? You said we would hire lawyers. He said, well, what are the name of those lawyers? You said, and I quote, I could get the stenographer to read it back, like in A Few Good Men with Jack Nicklaus. You said we have committees. The question now is, what are the names of those committees? This is what you said. You said we have committees working on this issue. I'm asking you, what's the name of the committee? If you don't know, you can say you don't know, and that's cool.
I'm not gonna hit Google, but yeah.
So you don't know what the name of those committees are?
I can't name them. It's a Google search away, but I'm not gonna do that.
No problem. You said you don't know very well. Prince Dynasty, Amir, we can move on. Thank you.
Okay, let me back to
wait. Him not knowing the committee name is pointless anyway. That's besides the point. Him not knowing the committee name.
Thanks very much. So,
and he didn't say that we had a committee trying to get reparations from Africa.
No, he did say that. He did say we have committees.
Oh, he did. He said America.
Yes, he did. Brother O'Leary asked him. Brother O'Leary said, he said, how would you go about getting reparations from African nations? He said, like anything, you would have lawyers. Brother O'Leary said, well, who are those lawyers? good and full records, Teardrop then said, and I quote, and we can run this back. He then said, "We have committees." That's what came out of his mouth.
But he said you would have to get lawyers. That doesn't mean I got lawyers on deck.
All right, man,
You would have to.
And then he said, "We have committees." That's what he said.
Yes, committees that you would go to. As I said,
We've gone through this. It seems I don't really understand why the two of you are here. You haven't really thought about how you're going to help your people get reparations. It just seems you just came up here to complain about Africans. So I don't know, man. Maybe this is a troll thing. Maybe you're trolling. I don't know. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, but we're here for serious conversation. If you believe you need reparations from the African nations, sure, make a good argument. Share some knowledge with us. But all this stuff arguing about pyramids in America and you being native, how does that help you get your reparations?
You hurt? Are you mad of my lineage?
What I am is sad for you because you clearly haven't thought this through. You haven't got a plan. So it's like, why are you here? You're just here to bitch and moan about Africans, basically.
Man, nobody, I done already said I don't want.
No, he froze up. Tupac on YouTube, go ahead.
Yo, I gotta address this subject. So Dennis Spurling said that he felt Africans should give reparation, right? That's the main point of this topic, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, but here's the thing: the whole Africa wasn't involved in the slave trade we descendants of. It's really just like pretty much west all the way down to Angola. The East African slave trade, more slaves went to the Middle East than it ever did on us. You know what I'm saying? On this side. So, and then it's like these are tribes that were selling each other. So, I mean, basically what I'm saying is it's not, and then it's not like, and here's the stupid part. How could Africans pay Black Americans reparations when then what about Brazilians, Jamaican, Haitians, Barbados, Costa Rica, Uruguay, all the blacks and all these. So they should just give only Black Americans reparations. They don't owe all these other Black people that came from there too. I mean, the shit is just not.
Hey, they gotta fight for it. They gotta fight for it. Closed mouths don't get fed.
No, but that's not what. But see, here's the thing. Dennis Spurling said Black Americans. He's only saying Black Americans should get it. Like Black Americans are the only ones that went through slavery.
No, they went through slavery in Europe, so they deserve it too.
No, but that's what.
No matter where you were.
We talking, huh? No, I'm talking about.
I said no matter where you were.
Yeah, we talking about the topic with Dennis Spurling. What he talking about? He's saying Dennis Spurling is saying only Black Americans deserve it from Africa, which is stupid. I mean, because like I said, you leaving all these other Black people out. It's not logical, bro. It's just not logical.
Man, I just think he just thinking of his own group. He not thinking about Afro-Brazilians and Afro-Colombians. He thinking about his own group. And that's how you gotta go. You gotta move as a group. Them people don't. I just think
the whole thing is just a ploy to divide Black people because there's this growing hatred of Black people towards other people. I've seen on one show I'm not gonna mention right now. One guy was trying to say how Jamaicans and Black Americans, same thing. No, we're not. There's no difference between Jamaicans and Black America. One thing, if you know anything about America, right? Once you land on these shores and you're Black, you're part of the Black experience, no matter what the hell you think. Africans that here for a few years, they're part of the situation. They may not be slave descended, but after a while, when they get their Negro wake-up call or whatever like that, and when they see the realities of being isolated and the fact that they feel more comfortable around other Black people, you're part of the Black experience. Harlem was a perfect example of that. You have people from the Virgin Islands all the way down to the Bahamas, to Jamaica, and people from the Deep South all living together in one community. And so we could do that back then. So what is this now? It's all this internet stuff. It is stupid internet stuff. They're dividing people of Stockholm lineage. I don't want to hear nothing about this ADOS FPA freaking foolishness.
But you can't get mad at somebody for having their own beliefs. If people believe that they're from here and they got the documents to prove it, I mean, you're gonna have to accept it at some point.
Oh, I don't accept it. I accept it,
but ain't no documents to prove it. That's
all right. Check this out. All right, Donis, let me read you an article from 19.
Robinson, I don't care about the articles. What documents do you guys have that you individually are indigenous to America?
Donis, can I read the article from 1965?
Does it show your lineage? Does it show, I mean, do you have your tribal status? Like, what does this article have to do with you?
First off, if you're indigenous to America, why are you talking about getting reparations from Africa? That don't even make no sense. If you're saying you're indigenous to America, you shouldn't even be on the panel.
All right, guys. Listen, we're gonna Larry, go ahead, Larry. Then we'll close out. Larry, I'll pass the game. Then we'll close out.
Thanks. It was a good point from Tupac. Tupac said, "If you're indigenous, why are you here?" It's a good point. It just feeds into the narrative. I think they're just here to troll, because if you're indigenous, then you shouldn't be here. And then one of them said that he didn't even want reparations. Okay, so why are you on the panel? I don't get it. That's all I have to say.
Go ahead, free game. Then we'll close out.
So, Dinas, you have a problem with holding African people accountable. Every time that you get on here, you talk about Black Americans, and we gotta take it from you now. Now, when it's on African,
it depends on the context. I hold Africans accountable. It just depends on the context.
But it seemed like we getting held accountable every week by you. But anyway, like I was saying, like we said,
but that's an unfair thing, blaming Africans for slavery, when Africans were clearly the victims of slavery. The whole social. Let me tell you. Let me say this. And I'm gonna let you finish. Free game. Let me say this. Right. Prior to the Europeans coming to Africa, right? Africa had a social system, right? A lot of people haven't studied this. I'm sure Lumumba probably studies, right? A few people study this, right? Africa had a system where councils called the Macy and stuff had the supreme power. Kings didn't have power. Europeans came to Africa, right, and saw kings and everything like that, which basically was ceremonial more than it was powerful, right? And they had chieftaincies and everything like that, but they really didn't have any power. They were chosen by the people, chosen by the people, right? They could be disposed. They had to obey the law. You look at Alan Gillies' assertion about the kingly power and stuff like that in West Africa. It was very ahead of Europe at the time, which they basically limited the powers of the king. Europeans come there, right? And suddenly this new weapon is introduced, gunpowder and guns, right? And so therefore they automatically deemed that in Africa there must be some supreme ruler. And so therefore for 300 something years, all you had was people fighting each other. The social structure of resolving issues and conflict was gone. Everything, the whole social fabric of Africa was broken to this day, right? You still have conflicts right now to this day. So when we talk about, so when you make the assertion that hold Africa accountable, Africa suffered, right? Maybe not as much as we did, but Africa suffered, right? Because it can't get itself together right now, and then they created colonial borders and everything like that. So tell me how Africa benefited from slave trade. Europeans benefited from slave trade. They're the ones who instigated this. They're the ones who think. If you look at every slave fort, there's no cannons pointed directly toward the people. They're all pointed toward the ocean, as the Europeans could fought with each other, collaborate with each other and whatnot. And then one thing they made sure was they never give Africans weapons to defend themselves against Europeans. It was only weapons to hunt other Africans and cause refugees and stuff like that. So how do you basically say Africans benefit from slavery when the West Africa really is the poorest region in the world?
It doesn't matter who benefited. If you're complicit in the crime, you should be penalized.
Let me finish.
They're victims.
Free game. Go ahead, free game.
Let me finish. No, seriously. This is my closing argument. Of course, no. I, as a Black American, as a person that's from America, I don't want to, try to get reparations from Africa. But what I think we should do, what I think Africa and Black Americans and Caribbeans also, we should go after the people that basically sold us after the after years after the fact, and also damaged Africa. I think Africa should seek reparations from America, and Black Americans should seek reparations from the British. And also, we should go after the Belgium, France, Spain,
Well,
all
good
those.
luck with that one.
Look,
what are you gonna go after them with, free game?
What you say?
What are you gonna do? You gonna rise up and go after them? Whatnot? You guys gonna rise? You guys, I've been hearing about this video. We're gonna rise up.
Man, that you don't always need a war to get reparations. It's always
Lord,
it's
man.
always been.
That's how reparations are done, man. Nobody's gonna give reparations because they like you. They're gonna say, you know something, man. Here's your reparations. Here's my daughter too. You know. Hey,
okay.
No,
Okay. How did
damn reparations?
How did the Jews get reparations?
Well, let me explain to you how, because you wasn't on the show earlier, right? The Jews got reparations because the Germans were defeated, and the state of Israel lobbied on the behalf of the Jewish people and everything like that. There was like a decades-long transition into Israel and to Palestine to create the state of Israel. When Israel became a state in 1947, right? The Germans paid Israel reparations, and the Germans benefited from it because a lot of German companies took some of that reparations money and they helped build the infrastructure of Israel. Same thing with Japan. Japan paid reparations to China, Korea, and everything, but they also basically benefited because they had new customers in the supply chain. So they said, okay, we'll pay reparations. We're going to get some of that money back because we're the principal steel producer in Asia. So we're going to do this. So Japan benefited at the same time that it. You have nothing to gain, nothing to bargain with in reparations. America was not defeated. America was not
I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna push back on you, caller, because you contradicting yourself from earlier. You said that America have never been beaten, right?
America has never been defeated. No.
Okay. So why America is paying the Jews reparations in the Native Americans?
America is not paying the Jews reparations. If America gives Jewish money because why? Because the Jews are organized and they got a Jewish lobby in America.
Okay, they can do the same thing. They can do the
Democrat vote.
We can do the same thing.
They just gave the Jews 183 million in New York. They just gave the Jews 183 million. Kathy Hochul just signed it into law.
Yeah, but the whole thing is they gave it to them, right? Because the bottom line is that's not reparations. That's just saying we're Jews, we're your allies, give us some money because they got the political power.
Okay.
Political power.
Okay. Well, we can go for the smaller countries then. We can go for the Belgian, Portuguese, France. We can go
what are you
for
gonna
them.
do? What do you have
Bro, Africa can beat the Belgium, Portuguese, Spain, and France. They can.
Yeah, well, right now the Congo is in war. Every country in Africa is in turmoil and chaos. So now, how the hell can Africa can't pay itself?
Because they are the problem, caller. That's why they need to pay them people. They are the problem.
How are you going to get them to pay? How do you get them to pay?
Just how y'all just kick France out of y'all country. The same way.
Yeah, wait. Sorry. Wait. How? I'm going to give you how are you going to get Angola to pay? How are you going to?
No. You're not listening to me, Larry. I said we don't. I'm not worried about Africans. I said that we should go after France, Belgium, and all those other countries that went to Africa and tore it up, and also went to America and did the same thing.
Do you have one? Do the black race have one nuclear submarine?
Nope.
Do we have any nuclear weapons?
Nope.
That ends the argument right there.
No, they get uranium from Africa.
No, it don't.
The resources they use to make the nuclear bomb.
It doesn't matter where the resources come from.
All right, so
you got high grade uranium. You got to enrich. It takes years to do the technology to do that.
But they got it from Africa. They got the bombs that they use. They got it from Africa, homie. So you can't say that.
World can't even promote electricity for their own people. How do you use nuclear weapons?
You're missing the point, not Carla, but you're missing the point. The point is Black Americans. He's saying that you don't have a united, powerful front to bargain to get the reparations. That's what he's saying.
Okay, yeah. What I'm saying is we can get one. Stop acting like it's impossible.
There is not one right now. And the bottom line, if you're talking about this divisive talk about ADOS FBA, that doesn't.
Man, I'm not saying that though, Carla. I'm off that.
People get up here and talk about
I'm off it.
Africans and
I'm
all
off
stuff
it.
like this. You know that you just ruin your point because
I didn't say that though, Carla.
This is my say about reparations, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said years ago when I first got on the show, right? I said the black people want justice. They're gonna have to build a new state on the African continent, right? That country is gonna have to be the argument reparation, which is owed, right, for the black race in the West and whatnot to settle and build and lobby for reparations as an independent sovereign state. You cannot basically argue for reparations and sit in the comfort of America. That's not going to work.
Okay. Yeah. So,
all right, can I just land real quick? All right. Now I don't have all the answers for us black Americans to have to get reparations. I think it's going to take work. I think it's going to, we got to stop getting online and bullshitting and really focus. But far as Africans in slavery, they definitely participated. In fact, they was in slavery. They were selling to the Arabs damn near 1,200 years before the white man ever showed up. So saying that Africans never collaborated with slavery is just stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's just dumb as hell. They was doing that, you know what I mean? So that's not even up for discussion.
The Africans were not involved in a commercial mercantile system of slavery on a large scale like that. No, that would not happen.
Over 40 million Africans, damn the 20 million went to the Middle East. You smoking rocks, nigga.
Hold on.
Smoking rocks.
Hey, listen, we're not gonna use that N word.
Okay, my bad, homie. You seem educated, Colin. You should already know this. I mean, you should already know that this happened. So these other groups have came to Africa and collaborated with them. So let's just
Tupac. I would say to you, Tupac. I would say this to you. My personal opinion. I do believe that there were certain African kingdoms and Africans as middlemen who participated in that disgusting trade. I never deny that. I believe that. But the question still comes back. How are you going to work as a united, powerful force to convince those governments to give you reparations?
What are you talking about, Africans or the U.S.?
Yeah, the Africans. Because that's what the show's about.
I'm not doing that with Africa. I already stated that.
All right, cool. All right, fine. Sorry.
Because like I said, there's more slaves went to Brazil. You know what I'm saying? You got Jamaica, you got all these other, you got to think about, oh my God, just think about the people in Uruguay. They put them black people on the front wall and wiped them out. You know what I'm saying? So
bro,
it's just too much.
We love, hey bro, we got love for Africans, bro. I don't want to see nothing like that happen to Africans, bro. Like seriously, like those are still our family. Only thing I'm saying is we should unify and go after the people who dominated, paid for, financed the slave trade.
I don't disagree with that, but first we got to focus on here. We got to focus right here in America first. If we, let's get that. Black American FBA, ADOS, focus right here first.
Let me ask you a panel question, right? I know Diane's supposed to end this. But what happened to a couple of years ago when we were talking about building black communities, building Black Wall Street, buy back the block and stuff like that? That was actually working. That was stuff like that was actually working. I thought that with the internet that black people would get together, we got a means of communication. But it seems that instead of sticking to that, everybody's on this, we need reparations. And nobody's talking about it. Not one person's talking about how we support black businesses, How do we know about black businesses? There's 20 black businesses in America that gross $500 million to $1 billion a year more. How do we support those? How do we basically get involved? And so how we see their stocks? How we basically download apps so we could basically buy help black startup companies and everything like that. What if we did that? What if we take the billions of dollars that we spend every day on Jordans and foolishness and everything and start buying blacks, building black wealth and whatnot? Why don't we do that?
We do that though. We do that. Not on YouTube.
We're not doing it. We're not doing that anymore because all the energy and talking about we got a committee talking about reparations and reparations. What about a committee supporting black-owned businesses, bringing industries to the inner cities and stuff like that? We can do that, but we don't want to because it takes work.
Fam, just go on Instagram. You're gonna get everything you want. Is algorithm. If you want that, go on Instagram and you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that.
Well,
I'm not saying all of us, but you
Thank
will.
you.
Everything you spoke on, it does exist. The same way this
I know it
bullshit
exists.
exists.
Well, what I'm saying, the main conversation, and as far as politics, right? Black people are willing to throw their vote away. So about no reparations, no vote. That's the stupidest thing in the world. You're not gonna get reparations. So what are you gonna do? Sit home election?
Carla, let me tell you this. Now, I'm from Louisiana, but I live in Texas. Do you know African American and Nigerians are working together to take down a lot of these real estate companies for fraud, for mortgage frauds, and getting houses paid for?
Well, that's something positive we can work on.
Yeah, so it's a lot of Black American. For instance, this Nigerian guy, he never lost a case for discrimination, and he took over my case in discrimination at my job, and it's going good. So it's a lot of
So
things.
tell these brothers on the panel that when they say Africans don't like us and all stuff like this, that's foolishness.
That's dumb shit.
No, yeah, it's plenty Africans that like us. The ones that's talking, we just gotta get in their face and hey, we gonna be here, y'all gonna be here. So hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like y'all country helped build this country in a lot of ways through slavery. So hey, we all gonna be here, and if you don't like me, oh well.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
I don't give a damn. But a lot of those Nigerian cats, yeah, we do talk a lot of noise to each other a lot, but you gotta earn respect in the Black community just like you gotta earn respect in their community.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and close out. Everyone, thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. God is mere search for who. Peace.
All right.